Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your right. I am Eli Moon, and I believe we are back. Chad Bryan, are we here? We're here. Oh, my goodness gracious. We are here. It has been a day, pal. It's been a great day, however. A great day, a blessed day here on Monday here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I know a lot of you are tuning in right now, and you're expecting some finals talk, and we're going to give it to you. But if you are tuning in for the first time, hello. That's Chad Bryan to my right, your right. I am Eli Moon. Thank you so much for choosing the Inside Edge Network for your stop here on at 10 o'clock here on the East Coast, 7 o'clock on the West Coast. We appreciate you so much. And real quick before we get into all the festivities, if it's your first time here, hello. We're here with you every night, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock here on the Inside Edge Network. Check out, like, and subscribe. Follow Inside Edge Net on all of the socials. Hit that notification bell. We're talking about sports and entertainment, mental health conversation, news, and everything in between. We're your source for that and Cleveland's digital leaders. So make sure you stay locked in here with us. Go check out our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Read about your favorite personalities. Go check out our partners, Monster Moments, SportsMemorabilia.com, W Energy, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. We appreciate you so much. Couldn't do without you, and couldn't do without you at home. Go check out the shop. Go get a shirt, a polo, a hat, all the great stuff. Maybe not a windbreaker right this current moment because it's starting to get hot. But go check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com and stay locked in. But Chad B, the people want to know, NBA Finals, what is going on, man? I'd imagine that's why a good portion of the audience is tuning in. I'm sure we got some faithful that have been rocking with us in September, but It is halftime in Madison Square Garden, the first game, NBA Finals game, that is, for the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden since 1999. Chad Bryan, I was about to be 2 years old. The next month I would have turned 2.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, that makes one of us is fibbing. But it's the first finals game in the century at Madison Square Garden for the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And early it didn't look good for them. They were down 10 to San Antonio. Victor Wembanyama throwing some bows. It's up for interpretation, right? Because Victor Wembanyama, he's a tall guy. He threw a pretty aggressive forearm and shoved Jalen Brunson to the ground. Brunson took exception with it and still set a screen and still stood his ground and kind of let Wemby know, like, dude, you ain't going to boss me around, bro. I'm Jalen Brunson. I'm the leader of New York. And it's starting to get chippy, some very chippy fouls, and the energy is there. There's a lot of stuff to be broken down in terms of the finals. Obviously, there's a lot of people in attendance. We're going to stay more so with the on the court here because that's how Chad and I typically rock. If you scrolled across social media like I did during the game, you saw a lot of who was in attendance. So we'll leave it at that because the reactions were necessary, and that's all we'll leave it at. So with that being said, we're going to talk about on the court here. We got a lot to talk about. If you're just tuning in and it's halftime, hey, stick with us for this hour. We're Cleveland-based. We're going to talk some Guardians, but they are playing the New York Yankees in what is a doozy right now as well. Let's give an update there. Top of the 10th, 1 out, 5-5. Yankees got the bases juiced. They got them loaded, Chad. So we'll get into some Guardians in a little bit, but we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Game 3. This is a big game for the Spurs. They're down 2-0, and the second half just started. They are down 5, 64-59. But after having a 10-point lead, and the Knicks leading at halftime, man, like, are the New York Knicks the team of destiny? I've been waiting to ask that because everybody on the network, and I shouldn't say everybody, I paraphrase, but a lot of the daily shows, I will specifically say, have been talking about it, and we've talked about it. The New York Knicks, 13 wins in a row, 2 sweeps before getting here. A tough battle against Atlanta before Danhausen cursed them, and now they are here, and they are on fire. Double-digit victories at that. I mean, they are just mopping the floor with teams. And let's remember, Chabby, I'm going to hand this off to you. Let's remember that we were having discussions on this show about, man, well, the Western Conference, whoever comes out, Thunder and Spurs, that's your NBA Finals. That we've talked about on the network. But are the Knicks the team of destiny, Chad Bryan?
I mean, it looks like it, all right? I mean, so first I want to say, when I mow my grass, I go – no, I'm kidding. Listen, I know Double A is going to talk about it later on Midnight Run. Little inside joke there. But, yeah, I know Double A is going to talk about it later tonight on Midnight Run. But this has got to make you feel – we don't have to get into this. We'll let Double A do it, but I think this has got to make you feel a little bit better about what the Cavs just went through with the Knicks, right? Like, maybe they didn't lay down, Eli. maybe it just looked like it. Maybe the Knicks are just playing that well right now. And I think I told you – I think I said it here on air on this show, or maybe on one of the post-game shows. I don't know. The nights run together sometimes, Eli. But when they put up 144 in that Game 4 win against the Sixers, I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, well, okay, it was a good season for the Cavs. They had a good run. They're going to win a game in the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe 2, and we'll all be happy. And that didn't even happen, right? They barely competed. I mean, they were up big in Game 1. Stop me if you've heard it before. Right? It happened to the Spurs as well. So, but now the Spurs are fighting back 64-62 right now. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it makes you feel a little bit better about the Cavs, and the Knicks are just like they're unstoppable. And something that you mentioned in the open with Wemby trying to maybe bully Jalen Brunson. Listen, Jalen Brunson's not he's not built like that, man. That's not going to intimidate him. You saw with whatever Game 1. I don't know what happened with the fan, right? Courtside in Game 1 in San Antonio, but whatever it was, it really seemed to upset Brunson, and it didn't upset him in the same way that, like, a lot of guys get upset, they start yelling, screaming, they're loud, right? They make a big scene. Brunson, like, you could see him like physically kind of calm down. It's like an old adage, you worry about the guys like that, right? Like when things are going awry, and you've got the one guy that's getting calmer and calmer and calmer, maybe don't push that guy around much, because that might be the guy that can set everything straight out there. But yeah, I kind of think Brunson, like you said, man, the leader of New York. I mean, his attitude kind of seems to drive this Knicks team. I mean, we talk about the toughness, the physicality, and it feels like it all stems from Jalen Brunson, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Chad, and I know we aren't one for usually hot takes on this show. I know they sometimes come from me, and so I will wear that badge with honor. The hot take badge. Thank you, or my sticker, or whatever. You want to. You're proud of me. I appreciate it. Spurs
are winning in 3. They're going to win it in 3.
Yeah, easy. What I will say though is, and this isn't hyperbole. This isn't a overreaction. It's been talked about on other media outlets. I feel confident saying the same. Jalen Brunson's 2 wins away, really about a half of basketball, a game and a half of basketball, in terms of they both become victories from being the greatest New York Knick in the history of the New York Knicks. I'm talking over Patrick Ewing. I'm talking over, Willis Reed. I'm talking over everybody. Walt Frazier, I know he's an iconic New York Knick. Yeah. We are talking about somebody who truthfully was never expected to be in this position. Now, if we back up for a moment here, again, Knicks Spurs, if you're just tuning in, this is Inside Edge Primetime. Chad, Bryan, Eli, we'll be with you until 11 o'clock. Midnight Run to follow at midnight. So I might have to get on the phone with Double A and say, look, man, the people are waiting. You might have to get you in here early. We'll see what we can do. But right now, it's a 3-point lead, for the next 66-63. If you're following along here, keep the updates as we go along. I will talk about Jalen Brunson for a moment. 2-time national champion at Villanova. I thought it was silly that, and I was covering, just to pull the curtain back for a moment, I was covering the Cavaliers during that draft. That was the Colin Sexton draft, where Jalen Brunson fell later into that first round. And I couldn't make sense of it then, because here's a guy that was the leader of that Villanova team. Again, with a lot of guys he's playing with now. Josh Hart, you look at Mikal Bridges, at one point Dante DiVincenzo, I know they shipped him out of town. He wasn't very happy about that, but he was leading and still is leading some of these guys. Like, he won 2 national championships at Villanova. I believe he won, most outstanding player, basically player of the year in the NCAA. The dude had every accolade. And I know sometimes it doesn't work out. I get it. But dude, the leadership was there. He's a baller. So what does he do? He goes to Dallas, right? So Dallas is where he lands up. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you could talk about the Luka Doncic trade being one of the worst, if not the worst trade in Mavericks history.
Pretty shocking, yeah.
Letting Jalen Brunson walk. And I've been reading reports that Jalen Brunson, his camp was absolutely baffled by the Dallas Mavericks, that they offered a disgusting, for lack of better words, offer to him. Hey, this is what we think, Jalen. We think of you as like a guy who maybe can be a point guard. That was the offer essentially they gave him. They didn't say those words. I'm paraphrasing. Based off the contract, though, it would have been like what you give a guy that you don't count on being a guy that could take you to an NBA championship. So if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you look awfully, awfully silly right now. I mean, and if you're Jalen Brunson, you got to be smiling. You bet on yourself in free agency. You sign with the New York Knicks, and I know everybody gives the Knicks a hard time outside of New York. I know we got probably a lot of Knicks fans tuning in right now, and hello. But everybody gave this dude a hard time about how, his game wouldn't translate to the NBA. And for the Knicks, they've been, for a lot of this century, and I can say this as a Cavs fan because we've been there too, they've been laughed at. The Carmelo Anthony, and I know they love Carmelo, and I love Carmelo, but it didn't work for what they wanted a championship to turn out to be for that city, for New York. Yeah. It has not worked out for them. They have been laughed at. And Jalen Brunson said, guess what? We're going to do this together. And as a Cavs fan, obviously watching us get swept, it hurts a little bit. But, man, and I'm going to be honest, completely pull the curtain back. I'm rooting for the Spurs because I got a lot of peeps I rock with in San Antonio. They really want this one. But I'm not going to
I told you, I like this Knicks team. Like, I
know.
Didn't have a problem. Like, usually, like sometimes as a Cavs fan, whatever, you watch a series and you lose 4 games to a team and you kind of learn to like dislike certain player. I really had that problem with this team, man. They just play hard. They don't ever stop coming at you, man. It's really impressive. It's an easy team to root for, to be honest.
And you bring up a good point, and that's where I'm at. This isn't like your typical New York team, right? When you think of like the Yankees, or you think of even like at times the Giants and Jets, and they're not too bad. I mean, they've been in mediocrity, if even that. But even when they were winning the Super Bowls, okay, New York wins again. We're celebrating. We hear it in baseball with Los Angeles. Okay, the Dodgers are going to three-peat, which we'll talk about that later on, and as we dive into the baseball
season.
It's
not the people. To be clear, it's just the larger markets, right? You just get tired of like it's the haves and the have-nots, and it seems like the haves always have and they get more, and that's what gets old. It's not the people, it's not the city, it's nothing like that. It's just
No, I agree with you, Chad, because I'll be real with you. As much as I, and I have a lot of love for my bros in San Antonio. I have a lot of love for my bros, and I'm rooting for them. Like I said, I would choose the Spurs to win this series because I want to see them celebrate. I go back down to Texas for another show in November, so I'm trying to like go see, how the city looks after it's rejuvenated with a championship. But all that to be said, on a personal note, I don't mind the New York Knicks because I have a lot of New York family too. I have a lot of guys I rock with in New York. So it's like I had to just kind of choose, and I'm like, honestly, I think I'd rather see San Antonio just because I lean towards towards Victor Wembanyama and that young core as opposed to what the Knicks have. All that to be said, pal, what they are doing is incredible. It's a team that was told they didn't have a superstar that could take them there, and right now the way they're playing, they have 2 stars that are playing like superstars, and Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is the best player in the front court in this series up until this point.
This is like the 2018 Warriors right now. I mean, they're on this run that's like, just get out of the way. I mean, just get out of their way. They're going to go win a championship. I mean, they look like they're poised to go up 3-0 tonight. I mean, the second quarter, 42-24, they outscored the Spurs in the second quarter. That's wild. Like they can turn it on. Like maybe it kind of reminds me of like the 2016 Cavs a little bit because I watched them a little more closely. I watched a lot of games that season. I watched the entire playoff run. And the Cavs would kind of do the same thing that the Knicks are doing this, right? They they're down like 12, 14, whatever. And it's like, oh, they don't have it tonight. And suddenly you look and they're up 13. And it's like, what's happened? Like, where'd that even come from? And you got, again, it starts with Jalen Brunson. I think he's just like the motor that makes everybody go. And it makes you wonder. You mentioned he won at Villanova, he won here, he won there, whatever. It sort of makes you wonder about Jalen Brunson. Would he lead and just win with whoever you put around him? Like, would it even matter? Right? He's gonna lead him to the promised land. That's it. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, Chad, he has, like, I mean, not the promised land. I'll give you that. He hasn't got there yet. He's very close. Right, but to your point, no, but you're spot on.
And is he developing into that kind of player, you know?
And he's done it with other co-stars. You're spot on. Julius Randle, let's not forget, Julius Randle was here, or in New York, not here, or in Cleveland. Cleveland's digital leader. But he was in New York. Yeah. Go! But Julius Randle was a New York Knick. They thought he was going to be the front court guy that helped Jalen Brunson lead, and they got a lot out of him. And Dante DiVincenzo, a former Villanova guy, there with Jalen Brunson. They have leaned into other guys, and the Knicks doubled down on two things that I think have got them to this point. First off, I guess I'll take it back. Three things. Number one's a little obvious, though. They put all their chips in with Jalen Brunson. Said, bud, you're our guy. You're our guy. Right. You know what? Your dad, Rick Brunson's an assistant coach. We believe in the Brunson family. We believe, and I'll be honest, man, and I'm not a New York fan. It's giving me chills because I'm so big on, like, and I know some people are like, oh, Rick Brunson, you know, the family thing's a little, whatever. Dude, family's everything, pal. I'm just going to be very clear with you here on the Inside Edge Network, on Inside Edge Primetime. This is just my opinion. I'm sure Chad would echo quite a bit, and a lot of people probably would too. But family's everything. It is so cool that the Brunsons are bought in, and New York loves them so much. And
you could say they're on a Brunson burner right now.
Yes. I love it. I love it.
It's not a Brunson burner, not a Brunson burner. I was close.
Yeah, absolutely. You were close. You were close. But it's just so cool, man. Like, Jalen Brunson is so easy to root for. Yeah, like, he is so easy to root for no matter what team he would be on. He could be on the Lakers, the Heat, the Timberwolves, so wherever. The Cavaliers, obviously, would root for him here. But he's a New York Knick. He's New York's own, and he has a chance to really rewrite one of the coolest legacies in this century of the NBA. I'm being
a face of the league kind of guy. I mean, why not?
He's in New York. If they win an NBA championship and he's the guy, and, you know, Kyle Cornell has been very vocal on Unfiltered, which you can check here on the Inside Edge Network, 5 to 6 p.m. daily. We have 4 daily shows for you, as you see across the ticker. So again, stay locked in here with us if you're just tuning in. Hello and thank you. We're gonna keep rocking with you. We're getting chills here. We're getting hyped up because it's like, you think about this. Kyle Cornell talked about Jalen Brunson. He talked about how he's a top 5 player in the league, and I said I could see that maybe a little early. However, Jalen Brunson is silencing every critic at every stage that just be careful what you say about Jalen Brunson at this point, because it's like, he's going to prove you wrong. I mean, Chad, and I'll hand it back to you here for a moment. As this game's going on, 76-72, New York, about halfway through the third here. 21 points for OG Anunoby. He's having a great game. You know, Josh Hart impacting 13.6 rebounds, 4 assists. But Jalen Brunson, 20 points.
Yeah.
We might see one of those games that we're talking about a legacy game, you know, and we're big on it. And I talked about it in game 2 with Wemby, and I said, you're going to see a game 2 to remember for Wemby. Well, it was, but it wasn't for the right reasons. If you're a Victor Wembanyama or a Spurs fan, you know, the costly turnover, the bad shot at the end of the game where you wonder, why didn't he drive the lane or allow De'Aaron Fox or Dylan Harper to take that shot? But
things were blurry out there. What's he going to do? They're blurry.
It's what he said. It's what he said after the game. Yeah, you're spot on, Chad. But you wonder. Yes, you wonder, though, pal. I'm going to hand it back to you. You wonder who's going to step up, because this is a 4-point game. You know, by the time we get off air, we probably will get to sit down and eat some popcorn and get to watch the last few minutes. But you look at Victor Wembanyama, he's not having a bad game either. 17 points on 7-11 shooting, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks. He's only turned the ball over once. Dude, we are going to see. I'm getting excited thinking about it. We are here on air. I got the game behind me on the big screen. We are going to see a Wembanyama Brunson showdown. And then you add in the elbow or forearm or arm or whatever. You add all this chippiness in. Man, as a basketball fan, there's like 2 ways I'm feeling about this. Purely basketball, taking emotion out of it. Basketball fan, there's 2 ways I feel. I would either want the Knicks to win because I want to see how Madison Square Garden reacts, and I just want to see all the videos on Twitter all night.
Right.
But the basketball fan in me is like, don't let the series end. Don't, like, for the spectacle, I want to see how a 3-0 looks in New York City, the first win in the century in an NBA Finals game in Madison Square Garden. But as a basketball fan, I'm like, please don't end
Yeah,
this series
and I'm
by
sure there are
Wednesday.
some marketing execs that want to see this thing go 7-2. But yeah, I mean, the Spurs aren't necessarily in a huge market, but it's still San Antonio. It's the Spurs, right? I mean, right now it's a great shooting night for the Knicks. This is why they, in the most respectful way, this is why they annoyed us Cavs fans, right? They went on these stretches where they don't miss. I mean, you mentioned OG Anunoby, 7 of 8 from the floor. Josh Hart, 6 of 8 from the floor. I mean, Brunson, 7 of 15. Cat's got 9 points, whatever, 5 rebounds, a couple assists. Well, just 1 assist, but whatever. It's just they go on these stretches where, and it doesn't even matter who it is. They've got just 6 or 7 guys that they can run at you, that anybody can get hot at any time, and they might be, honestly, I think their offense is the way that I thought the Cavs offense would look when we brought Kenny Atkinson over. When everybody said, it's ball movement, that's the open shot, it's the high percentage shot they're gonna. But I mean, really, the Cavs just chucked up a bunch of threes in that series, and a couple of those games they shot 22% from the three. That's not going to get it done, right? But you see the Knicks, like I said, they're hot from the floor again. Nobody's really having a bad shooting night. I mean, you had mentioned Dylan Harper for the Spurs, maybe getting some more minutes that might, contribute, and he's got 17 minutes tonight, but 6 points, 3 of 9 from the floor. I mean, not a terrible game, but not so much either. Not so much going on either. But
the problem with that, Chad, just to piggyback off of that, is the problem is you can't have Dylan Harper. If you're the Spurs, you can't have Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox having bad games at the same time.
Yeah,
De'Aaron Fox also 2 of 8 from the floor with 6 points. He hasn't turned the ball over except for once, but Fox mixed with Harper, a combined 12 points. That's not going to get it done. And then you look at Stephon Castle, he's stepping up, 18 points. He's the guy stepping up. But if the Spurs want to win this game, and we're giving live analysis kind of here as the game's like progressing and just what we're seeing, throughout this game.
Yeah.
Dylan Harper or De'Aaron Fox has got to answer the call. Yeah. Wemby's going to do Wemby things. He's having a good game. Stephon Castle's playing very efficiently as the orchestrator of that offense, as the point guard. They're going to have to get something out of De'Aaron Fox or Dylan Harper.
And I want to speak to Wemby for just a moment, too. I know that a lot of people probably think, wow, Wembanyama's a dirty player. He's this, he's that. Listen, I think it's something that you said in the pre-show. I think he's just trying to get physical, right? He's trying to he's doing the best he can. He's not a big guy, he's tall. But he's not a huge guy, right? It's hard for him to get physical. And there's a saying in baseball, when a guy's really tall and lanky on the mound, he's all knees and elbows, right? Think of Tristan McKenzie, right? Think of Sticks, right? He's on the mound. He's all knees and elbows. It's hard to see the ball coming out, whatever. And I think that's what Wembanyama is a little bit. Like, he tries to throw like a little bit of a push on Brunson. And because his arms are 11.5 feet long, it looks so much more ridiculous. It looks so much more emphatic. It looks like such a worse, offense or whatever. It looks like he's like trying to swing at him, but I don't know if it's necessarily that. I think it's just him trying to physically stand his ground a little bit, because the Knicks are very physical, right? They're a tough team. And I think that's just him trying to do his best to fight back. I don't think he's a dirty player. He's had a couple moments in these playoffs, but I
think you're spot on. I think you're spot on, Chad. And Inside the NBA had talked about it after the game, after game 2, about after you had those blurry comments about how everything was blurry out there at the end and everything. Shaq and those guys, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, Ernie Johnson, they talked about how this team, this New York Knicks team in Madison Square Garden, with the fans already going nuts, like they are excited as can be. New York City, just as a heads up, if you've never been there, Times Square is busy on a random Tuesday. Okay, in May, right? Like, so the fact that this is a Monday night in June in the NBA Finals, like, summer is here. It's the beginning of summer. Like, actually, I believe 2 days ago was the official start of summer, June 6th. So we are officially a few days into summer. We're here. But we think about all that, and you just see all of that, this madness, and Victor Wembanyama is feeling, I think, challenged, cornered. Like, okay, my toughness being questioned. Like Inside the NBA, it talked about on ESPN, they talked about how they're going to come out there and they're going to kind of push him around and get in his head, because he's already in his own head. So I think him being physical, the other guys stepping up, Stephon Castle getting a little physical. Like, these guys are like, what else are we supposed to do? Because we're not going to get bullied out of Madison Square Garden and go home with our tails tucked between our legs after 2 losses. That's just not happening. I think Mitch Johnson talked to this guys. More importantly, I think Greg Popovich, El Jefe, as they call him in San Antonio, the president of basketball operations, had some words for the Spurs team. Reminder that he went into the Spurs locker room after they blew a lead against OKC, and they blew that game early on in that series.
Yeah.
And he talked to them. De'Aaron Fox had mentioned that was the first time all season Greg Popovich went in their locker room and had a conversation with them about how they should have got the job done and closed it out. I guarantee you after one 10-point loss where they had the lead, and then the way game 2 ended, I'm sure Greg Popovich, I'm sure Tim Duncan, I'm sure every Spurs alum is in these young guys' ears trying to coach them. Tim Duncan's like, hey, I don't got 1, I don't got 2, I don't got 3, I don't got 4, I got 5 on it. And he's trying to show these guys how to lead and how to get there. And I think this series is far from over. We'll see. I mean, right now, and I'm going to go ahead and take the graphic down because as we've been speaking here, the Spurs have snatched the lead back 80-78 with 4.5 to go in the third. It is back and forth. We appreciate you tuning in here with us.
Who knew we'd get a Looney's reference from Eli Moon? Who knew we didn't know that would happen, but we saw that happen a moment ago.
You know what? Hey, you never know what you're going to get with Chad. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with Chad, Bryan, and myself. We are rocking and rolling, strong with all of you. Whether you're in New York, San Antonio, Ohio, across the world, we appreciate you because, again, we say it at every broadcast, and we can't say it enough. You are the heartbeat that keeps us going. We're here in Cleveland. We're Cleveland's digital leader, Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland's digital leader. We are a Cavs fan, so we're just watching as like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is what it feels like. We haven't seen this.
A dog in the fight, as they say.
Exactly. And we're blessed that you are choosing to spend your finals coverage here with us. We're going to talk Guardians, Yankees. They're in a big series, too. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the show. We're going to talk about all of it here. We're just going to keep on soaking in what has been an exciting sports beginning of the week. I was going to say weekend, but the weekend's over. Welcome back. It's Monday. So what a great start to the week. NBA Finals Game 3, and what seeming to be a thriller mixed with Guardians and Yankees, which I believe has gone final.
It has gone final, yep.
Okay, I think the Yankees got it done there, Chad.
Yeah, 7-5 Yankees win tonight.
Okay, 7-5. So we'll talk about them later on. Guardians drop their first in 4 games to the New York Yankees. First one at home in this series, and we'll keep an eye on it. If you're a Guardians fan, Gavin Williams, not the greatest start tonight for really our ace, him or Parker Messick. So we'll talk about that later on in the show. We'll dive into a lot of other things. We were going to talk some Los Angeles Angels as well. We'll see if we can get to some Los Angeles Angels, but I know why the folks are tuning in, Chadby. I think you know why, too. We're in the midst of a classic right here in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So we're going to take a quick pause for the cause. This is the time where I tell everybody, if you're a faithful listener, you've been here before, go grab your drink, grab your caffeine, grab your dinner, whatever you need to do, get it. Come stay with us. Keep your phone, bring it with you, stay locked in. We're not going anywhere. Stay locked in. Like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net on all the socials. We're Cleveland's digital leader, your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversation, news, and everything in between. We don't just cover Cleveland. We are based in Cleveland. We're Cleveland's digital leader, and we love our Cavs, our Browns, our Guardians, all of that. But we're going to talk about everything. And right now, we know that all eyes are right now in the basketball world on San Antonio and New York. So we're going to talk about that when we come back. But hit that follow button, like, subscribe, Inside Edge Net, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. Chad, Bryan, and I are here with you every weeknight, 10 to 11 p.m. We have 4 daily shows and great weekly coverage as well, weekly programming. We start our mornings off 9 to 11 a.m. with Omar Clausel and the Inside Edge Network morning show. We also have Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays. Then we go to Inside Edge Primetime with Chad and I, 10 to 11 p.m. here on weeknights. And Midnight Run with Anthony Alford. You thought we were a little unhinged? Well, wait till you see our program director, our bro, W. Anthony Alford, at midnight to 1. He is going to be right after us, recapping what seems to be a thriller about to happen in Madison Square Garden. So Inside Edge Net is what you're going to stay locked into. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. You're going to want to go to InsideEdgeNetwork.com to go check out your favorite personalities. Go check out our partners. Could not do without them. Again, W Energy Monster Moment, SportsMemorabilia.com, Fanatics.com, and AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Couldn't do without you at home. Go to the shop. Get some awesome Inside Edge Network gear. Support a grassroots organization that we are bringing from the ground up and bringing it to you here on wherever you're watching on social media. Hello.
Kyle Cornell would say, Eli, rep the network.
Yes. You know what? You're so good. You and Kyle are becoming best friends. I love it. I love it. Yes. Whether you're in New York City, whether you're outside, Madison Square, wherever you're at, wherever you are at, if you're in San Antonio, if you're in Cleveland, hello. That's Chad, Bryan, to my right. You're right. I'm Eli Moon. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network, and we'll be back right after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, W Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order W Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. W Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy it. Midnight Run. What a show we had on Friday. We talked about the NBA Finals, the surprising result. The Knicks up 2-0 in the series. Game 3 coming up Monday night in New York. Do you suddenly feel differently about the Cavs, considering the Knicks are on a generational run? Plus, we talked about the Cleveland Browns. We ran a tracker through AI. AI predicts that Shedeur Sanders is not only going to start for the Browns, but is going to lead the Browns to a playoff run in 2026. And we went on a little rant about the Browns Stadium and the Madden cover. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Coming up on Monday night on Midnight Run, we'll go through the NBA Finals, recap any breaking stories. We'll have all that for you coming up and a lot of fun. You guys stay cool. It's going to be a warm one this weekend. Hope you guys enjoy the weekend. We're on every single weeknight at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network.
Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, which, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, the faithful and the first-time watchers, viewers, that Chad Bryan would be to your right as well. I'm Eli Moon. I got a haircut, or if it's your first time seeing me, I've always had this hair. We are here on the Inside Edge Network. We are rocking with you. We have a programming announcement throughout the break. I spoke with program director Double Anthony Alford, host of Midnight Run, who is typically on at midnight. But with everything going on, the sports world is awakening here in the summer. It is a busy, busy day. We talked about the Guardians and Yankees as baseball fans, two of the best teams in the AL playing right now, and the Yankees getting a 7-5 victory. Other news, we're going to pivot right back to NBA Finals. Spurs and Knicks in a classic right now. But pivot back right now to WNBA for just a moment. Double A had made it aware to me as we were on the air that Caitlin Clark, a lot of discussion about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever and, how they feel about her and her status as the star of that team. She hit a 31-foot jumper with time running out, a game winner to take the Indiana Fever to a 78-76 victory over the Washington Mystics. The basketball world is on fire, Chad Bryan. All the stars stepping out. Caitlin Clark, Jalen Brunson, Victor Wembanyama. I'm worried you're going to leave here halfway through the show and put, your gym shorts on and start trying to play too. Look,
listen, I'll knock down a couple of threes. At my age, I'm not playing any defense, but I'll knock down a couple of threes. I can still shoot.
I believe in you. I definitely believe in you. Yeah, just insane. And Double A and I were talking a little bit during the break. Just chatting here, and he's like, dude, it's a good night to be a basketball fan. Caitlin Clark, however you feel about her, she is creating buzz for the WNBA. And now if you look at the NBA, you got the NBA Finals, which we'll get to in a moment. We had our guy, Kyle Cornell, host of Unfiltered, chiming in. He said, right here, we have Caitlin Clark is the reason the WNBA is expanding. Who cares if she argues calls? Get her to Cleveland in 2028. We'll keep an eye on that. I also want to shout out Keon Sports, Vince McKee, saying Eli looks like a new man. You know what? I'll never turn down a compliment on air. Okay? I won't. It's Leo season. It's almost Leo season. So, all right. Enough about me. Okay, look, the hair looks good. I know. I'm the meme of the week on Unfiltered. It's okay. All right. Chad. I feel like I'm ready to start going out there and playing some defense for one of these teams. I mean, they are in an absolute battle right now. The Spurs have taken the lead back 89-84 with a minute 51 in the third. And we were talking before the break about how really this is it for Wemby and the Spurs team if they want to have a chance in this finals. You can't go down 3-0.
No, this is a must win. Yeah, you got to win this game.
And you think about it right now. This is going to come down to, and I mentioned before the break about De'Aaron Fox. I mentioned about, Dylan Harper, having these guys. Harper up to 10 points now and 4 of 11 shooting. Fox still sitting at that 6 points. He hasn't attempted another shot. Wembanyama, 22, 7, 5, 2, and 2. But you look at Jalen Brunson, at that 20 mark, OG Anunoby, the leading scorer, it's going to come down to a big bucket from either Victor Wembanyama or Jalen Brunson. Somebody is going to ask their superstar to go out there and win the basketball game. And I think we are going to have a lot to talk about, not only tonight, because I didn't even get to the programming announcement, I don't think. I think I just started rambling. But Double A Anthony Alford will join at the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to do a handoff. We'll stick with Double A for a little bit, talk with him. Obviously,
I hope he'll fumble. I always get nervous on the handoffs. I'd rather, I'd rather do the little end around and the forward pass thing. If it goes awry, it's an incomplete pass. You know what I mean?
The center. You're the center, so you're going to snap it. You're going to snap it to me. I'll hand it to Double A.
All right. I guess I'm getting old. I used to be a quarterback. Okay. Listen, this is one of those games where I fully expect. And by the way, it's 92-89 right now. Knicks came back, tied it up, and the Spurs took the lead again. This is one of those games, though, where I expect to look over and all of a sudden look and see Jalen Brunson in like a 34 by his name, right? And suddenly the Knicks are up 15. That's just what they keep doing. So we'll be watching. The third quarter is about to end in about 14 seconds. So that's the end of the third quarter now officially. 92-91, the Spurs lead. So, yeah, I just keep looking over and waiting for a huge number of. Well, it's already a pretty crooked number. 20 points is nice, but I mean, I'm expecting to see like a 30-point something. Jalen Brunson have a huge fourth quarter. Because that's what he did to us, and in game one, we just couldn't stop him. We didn't even try to stop him. We just said, sir, score as many points as you'd like. It's not a problem. We have a 22-point lead. We feel that might be, that's an infinite lead at this point. We can give up 30, 40, 50 points in the quarter. It's fine. We're not even going to try to score. We're just going to run the clock out. You guys do whatever you want on offense, and that was the goal in the fourth quarter, apparently, for the Cavs in that game one. So,
yeah.
Politically, Eli, they won that game, so don't worry about it.
You're right. It's crazy to think. Yeah, it's crazy to think about, Chad B. We talked about Caitlin Clark for just a moment. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to think that at any other night of basketball, like if this would happen over the weekend, when Saturday and Sunday there was no finals games or anything, we probably would have had some discussion about Caitlin Clark early on in the show. At least, in the first 20 minutes or so, we would have talked to Caitlin Clark. And we would have talked to her, but we would have talked about Caitlin Clark. We would have had discussion.
I mean, we'll talk to Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, if you're listening to Indiana Fever, we would love to have some reaction after that game winner. But, we would be discussing Caitlin Clark a lot heavier than we are, and just this is insane right now. Like, this is a great game 3. Yeah. I mean, I'm a basketball head, so I just love this type of stuff. And the fact that you're sitting here, we're looking at a 92-91 game. I didn't get a chance to really expound upon the two things because we've been just really animated. I'm going to settle down here for a moment and explain the two things I think that have really helped the New York Knicks get to this point.
Yeah.
One, and it's two things that the Cavaliers can probably listen to and probably take a few notes from.
Sure.
One, they moved on from Tom Thibodeau. And Tom Thibodeau helped them defensively. He shaped a lot of these guys' minds to be better defenders. He worked them to the point to where they got to the playoffs. They were a consistent playoff contender.
Yeah.
However, Tom Thibodeau ran his players into the ground. That's why there's injuries or just not enough energy in New York for the Knicks to play basketball to get to a big postseason run. So that was a big flaw with Tom Thibodeau. And you know what the Knicks said? They said, we're not content with just getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. In fact, they got there, and what they say to Tom Thibodeau? Peace. And they brought Mike Brown in. And it's like so crazy to think we are having the same kind of thoughts about Kenny Atkinson after the crazy comments he had and everything. And the Cavs are doubling down and saying we're staying with him. We'll see how it works out for us in Cleveland.
And there are some people who, who they wanted to bring in?
Tom Thibodeau. Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau. Yeah. I mean, it's just NBA coaches get recycled. It's like, you couldn't get the job done there. Come here and try to get the job done. And then we'll fire you in 2.5 seasons. And then you can go there and try to get that. It's like, it really is like the coaching carousel. I mean, it's wild in the NBA, but that's the way it is. That's fine.
Unless Mike Brown, if Mike Brown wins a championship, I'd say his job's a little safe and he could probably invest in some more real estate in New York because he is going to do something he's been looking to do for a long time. His last finals appearance was 2007 here in Cleveland as the Cavs lost to the San Antonio Spurs in 4. And now he has a chance to get some revenge in his own right, and so that's the first thing. Number 2
decades later, yeah.
Yes. The number 2 thing here, I for why the Knicks are in this spot, in my opinion, is they weren't afraid to make the big trade. They had Julius Randle. They had a guy that, can go get you a bucket. He's going to impact the game. Yeah. He's going to make a difference. But it wasn't enough. They said, you know what? We need somebody that's actually going to be able to shape this team to what we need it to be. And that's Karl-Anthony Towns, a guy who gets a lot of bad rep. And I've said, I don't care for all the whininess at times, but gets a bad rep for he's soft or this or that. If these playoffs have showed you anything, Karl-Anthony Towns is the least bit of soft. He is a guy that is going to impact the game. He's going to be rough and tough with guys like Victor Wembanyama and all of that. I mean, this is a guy that has really changed his whole character and dynamic in terms of how the media looks at him, how everybody looks at him. I'm sure his peers, everything. The soft. He's soft. He's out there as a brick bleep house, for lack of better words, and he's out there doing his thing. And that those two, we mentioned Mike Brown, and we talked about the move to go bring in Karl-Anthony Towns, their relationship. And as Mike Brown spoke so glowingly about Karl-Anthony Towns after game 2, about what he's meant to this team, those are the 2 biggest factors why the New York Knicks are in this position right now.
Yeah, Cat's more versatile than I thought he was. I really, and I'm surprised that he had a few games that, you watch the playoffs, the Knicks this year, whatever. I mean, he had a couple of Jokic-style games, man, where they were running the offense through him in the high post, whatever. And he's seeing cutters, whatever, backdoor passes. He's looking pretty good, right? It reminds me of Jokic a little bit. Tonight, not so much, but I think, like you said, I think more of the focus in this series right now is him just being physical, right? So sometimes you don't. By the way, the Knicks, it feels like they could have like an identity issue, but they don't. It's like, does the offense run through Jalen Brunson? Does it run through Cat? I mean, how do we, figure that? But it doesn't matter. It's seamless. It's whatever you take away, they're just perfectly comfortable going to whatever option B is or option C. Or, I mean, they didn't really need option D against the Cavs. They barely needed option C. But I was going to say, as we saw against the Cavs, but we didn't have to see that much of the Knicks because they ran right over the Cavs, and that's okay. It happens. But they're so versatile, and they just seem to be able to make adjustments on the fly. I don't know if it comes from, I don't know if it comes from the coach. I don't know if it comes from just Jalen Brunson and whoever's leading on the floor at the time. But, man, they're so smooth with that. And that's the one thing I noticed against the Cavs. And, again, they didn't need it a ton during that series. I mean, they ran over the Cavaliers. But that's the one thing I've noticed about the Knicks. And that's, again, it makes it easy to root for them. They're just so smooth with it. The way they change the way they play. Okay, you're going to take this away? Fine, we'll do something else. And take Cat away in the high post? That's fine. We'll go, let's give Jalen Brunson the ball. Let's let him have the ball. We'll play a little ISO. And, by the way, our ISO game works. It's not James Harden dribbling the ball into the corner and laying down and taking a nap. And, there goes some more fast break points for the Cavs opponents. But, yeah, it's just impressive to me.
And we talk about, Golden State assistants. Remember Kenny Atkinson and Mike Brown on the same staff at one point in Golden State. Yep. Mike Brown has learned from being under Steve Kerr, being in that championship atmosphere, and he's close to becoming a legend, just like we talk about Jalen Brunson and all these guys. These guys will forever live in New York history if they get this job done. Yeah. And they're 2 wins away, and right now they are in a dogfight, an absolute dogfight. 95-91 Spurs, just starting up the fourth quarter. It's crazy, Chad B. You know what? I'm going to allow you to go grab a glass of water. I know you got another one. You probably need some more because you're just chugging through it. I think the people at home need it. Yes, the people need some caffeine. They need some dinner. We're not going anywhere, folks. In fact, we're just getting started. We have programming with you until 1 in the morning. One stream. You don't have to go anywhere. Just stay locked in with us. We'll be talking as the game goes on. We'll also have, obviously, immediate reaction as soon as the game goes final. We have a lot of our friends here, our family on the Inside Edge Network joining us. Chad will be with us at least until about the 11:20 mark. And then if Chad just decides to depart, he can, because Chad has a family. So Chad would probably like to see his family at some point. But, we have Chad, Bryan,
Blink
and
twice,
myself.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, you're blinking too many times. No, Chad, Bryan, and myself, we're with you until 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, we will welcome in the host of Midnight Run, our program director, our bro, AA Anthony Alford, to get his reaction to this great game in Madison Square Garden. And then, of course, we'll welcome the one and only Kyle Cornell from Unfiltered at the 11:20 mark. Bring him in. We'll see how we kind of shuffle the deck. But I'll be with you.
I'm trying to get out of his way because he played college basketball, Eli. I'm gonna get out of his way.
I'm waiting for the next time you guys are on screen together because you guys have not been on screen in it feels like
for a while. Maybe that's by design. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get you guys back together. But with all that being said, we are with you. Inside Edge Network. We're with you until 1 in the morning because AA Anthony Alford will do his regularly scheduled midnight run, and I'll be with you as well. I'll be either on screen or producing behind the scenes. But I'll be with you. I got goosebumps, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, not to even to be overreactive. I live for this type of stuff, like the energy. And I've been in New York. I've been there during holiday weekends where it's just energy is there. And the fact that this city loves this team. They love the New York Knicks. They've been waiting on this the whole century.
The team loves the city too.
They sure do. And that's
by the way, we didn't even talk about this. Is in one of the most iconic sports arenas, buildings, stadiums, whatever you want to say, in Madison Square Garden. Like I said, we're Cavs fans. Obviously, we want Cleveland to win titles. Everybody knows that, but come on, man. I mean, if the Knicks are going to seal this thing up in a couple, in 4 games, win it at Madison Square Garden, that's a cool story.
It sure is. And we'll talk more about that, Chad, Bryan. We'll see what this game's looking like. When we take a quick pause, we're going to hear a few words from our tremendous partners at the Inside Edge Network. You'll hear from a few of our friends across the network to know why you stay locked in here on Inside Edge Net. If we haven't given you enough of a reason, but Chad and I are with you 10 to 11 here weeknights. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, Inside Edge Net. Stay locked in, hit that notification bell, and go check out our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. You can read about your favorite personalities. Chad and I might be in the lead now for all of our new viewers. We might be in the lead, but go read about Chad and I and everybody who does a great job from weekly to daily programming. You have Kyle Cornell, Anthony Alford, Omar Clauso. We have Real Talk with Pop Moon Saturdays at 5 p.m. Jersey Chasers Wednesdays at 7:30. We have a lot of great stuff. Main event was just yesterday. Robert Zicki, AA Anthony Alford, and myself. Robert Zicki, programming announcement. We'll be with Omar Clauso in the morning show tomorrow from 9:30 to 10, talking about this NBA Finals game, talking some Guardians. So we're going to stay locked in here. Yes, we're Cleveland's digital leader, but we're your source nationwide for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. Go check everything out. Go grab a shirt, a polo, a hat from the Inside Edge Network, and you can put it next to your NBA championship hat, whether you're a Spurs fan or a Knicks fan. I'm talking to both of you. We're staying a little impartial. But with that being said, that's Chad Bryan. To my right, your right, I'm Eli Moon. When we come back, we're going to put a close to this hour, start getting the Keurig ready, AA. Hopefully you have that ready. I know we called on you a little early, but get the Keurig ready. Kyle, put the clippers down. I know you wanted to shave my head. We're not doing it no more. We are going to stay with you here till 1 in the morning. Stay locked in. Chad and I will take a quick pause, and we'll come back with more NBA Finals coverage. Game 3 in an absolute classic between the Knicks and Spurs. Back after this.
All right. We had a great show today here on Inside Edge Morning Show. Talked a lot about the Science Center and the Titanic exhibit there. So make sure you check it out. We also talked about the finals coming up in New York and touched a little bit on roller coasters and Eli's fear of heights. So check us out. Make sure you like and subscribe InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Keep it locked with you. Keep it locked right here with us. More great content. Check us out. Inside Edge Morning Show with Omar Clauso.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Great episode of Unfiltered today, guys. Here on your Monday, broke down a bunch of different happenings all across Northeast Ohio, including, the county sheriff. It's the only county in Ohio that doesn't elect their sheriff. County Council is going to get into this more on Tuesday. We'll have the results of that either Tuesday or Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Also, President Trump went to it, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. What happened with the Knicks and the Spurs? Are the Spurs down 3-0? Oh my goodness. All that and more coming up on Unfiltered on your Tuesday, 5 p.m. right here on the Inside Edge Network.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan, he's over to my right, ladies and gentlemen. That would mean you know the drill by now. Even if you're a first-time viewer, hello, you know he's to your right as well. I'm Eli Moon. We are back in the saddle, on the saddle, in the saddle, saddle adjacent. Yes, we are rocking and rolling. We had a full rundown plan, believe it or not, when we started this show. We said, you know what, maybe we talk a little Guardians, maybe we talk, we talked a little Caitlin Clark, maybe we talk some other things, and then the Knicks and the Spurs decided to have a doozy of a battle right now, and that's where we're at. Now, Chad and I were talking during the break. Right now, it looks like the Spurs are starting to kind of pull away. They're up 10 here with under 8 to go, but that could change in a moment's notice. We were up 22 points in Madison Square Garden, and
with a 99.9% chance to win that game one, by the way, according to the ESPN little meter, because you can't give them 100% chance to win, but by all, listen, the game was over, and analytically, again, the Cavs won game one analytically. So you don't have to win on the scoreboard if you win analytically. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, just analytically, maybe we'll win a trophy then too. Maybe we get did we win the Eastern Conference? All right, look.
Well, yeah, they're going to hang the analytical banners at the beginning of the season. It'll be fun.
And that's what makes you think for a moment. Just to keep it Cleveland for just a moment, it makes you think, are the Cavs ready to make the moves that the Knicks did? Yeah, clearly they're sticking with Kenny Atkinson. They're not going to make a move at head coach unless something completely switched up in the organization in the next few weeks, but it won't.
I mean, at this point, you've announced it. No, I mean, you shouldn't make that move now.
No. But are they going to make the big move? Are they going to move off of, more than likely, it seems, Evan Mobley? Are they going to move somebody to go put themselves in win now mode?
Must have had a review. Must have had a situation. It was 103.93. I don't mean to interrupt you, but now it's 193.
Okay.
So I didn't see what happened there. But they did
Yeah.
take 3 points off the board for the Spurs. So
Okay, so 7-point lead, and that could change again in a moment's notice. So it's it's gonna be interesting to kind of keep an eye on that game and where they go. But you have to wonder, if you're a Cavaliers fan for just a moment, you're as Cleveland's digital leader, like, are they going to be ready to make the move that puts them in these types of positions? We're having a lot of fun here watching this finals game, and it's great between the Knicks and the Spurs. Are they going to be able to put themselves in position? They've already decided Kenny Atkinson's going to be the guy that's going to lead them next season. Are they going to be able to go get whoever, whether it's, Donovan's the leader here for the moment? Are they going to go out and get a guy that can take them to the promised land? I think we are all, especially watching this game tonight, I think we are all done celebrating second round victories and, getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. We want to lift the Larry O'Brien trophy, and we've talked about it. This Knicks team is on the same timeline as the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they have got there. Now, they've accelerated a little bit with some of the moves they've made, but this is a core that, whether they played at Villanova together or whether they played a few years now in the Knicks together, they have been tight-knit, and they are doing it, Chad. Granted, they are down right now. Spurs, give them their credit. They are leading, but they're up by 5 now. Knicks just got a basket. So it's
still up in the series, though. Still up 2-0. And here's what scares me about the Cavs in this offseason. Now, let's just say the Knicks come back and they win tonight, and then they win game 4 and they sweep the Spurs. And then, the Cavs front office goes, well, we're not that far off. We're right there. We're right there behind it. Let's not make a big move. Let's keep our core together. Let's run this thing back. Maybe we don't get off to such a horrendous start. We get Max Strus for an entire season. We got James Harden out there. He gets used to how to kind of play with it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's what should happen.
Right. I get it.
That's a legitimate fear of mine now. Like watching the Knicks, and again, they're down 5 now. I get that. But up 2-0 in the series, could be up 3-0 after tonight. It terrifies me to think of the Cavs front office going, hey, let's not jostle this thing up too much. We're right there, right? We're closer than we thought. Let's just run it back the way it is. And then we just keep losing to the Knicks whenever we see them in the playoffs, because this team is this is a monster. They're not always going to play like this. I get it. They're not going to win every game from now until the end of time. But this right now they're a monster, and it looks like they can kind of flip the switch and turn it on at almost any time. So, it's kind of like the Cavs when LeBron was here the second time. And they would stumble through the regular season and kind of sleepwalk through. And it's like, okay, 58, 60 wins. They're okay. They should be better than that. And all of a sudden the playoffs start and take it right back to the finals, right? NBA finals 4 straight years. And they had some tough series here and there, but for the most part, they seem to just kind of run through opponents in the playoffs. That's what the Knicks are doing right now. It's very similar to me.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, man. I hope the Cavs don't run it back. I hope they make it.
They can't. You can't. But again, this scares me. The fact that the Knicks are playing so well now makes me feel like we could see the Cavs go, let's just hold off. Well,
hear me out. We were talking a little bit of Caitlin Clark here. Hear me out. The Cavs make a move. They go get Giannis. They go get LeBron.
Yeah.
And we bring in somebody, a disgruntled star, Caitlin Clark.
She can knock down some threes. I'm absolutely sure of it.
We know she can hit a bucket, okay? Like, what? We just form a wall around Caitlin Clark. Let her shoot 3 like they wanted to do with Steph Curry back in the day.
All right, pushed and shoved and elbowed and kneed and kicked. You're not going to intimidate her. She's going to knock down threes. She doesn't care about that.
Dude, it was crazy. Again, if you're just tuning in, we won't talk too much about it just because of the finals right now being heavy, but we do want to give congratulations to the Indiana Fever tonight for a game winner by Caitlin Clark. 31-foot jump shot, beating the Washington Mystics 78-76. And we, in AA has some more strong takes, I'd say, than probably both of us in terms of Caitlin Clark. I don't know if he'll get to him tonight, but he does have some thoughts on Caitlin Clark. As far as when we think, just to pivot for WNBA for a moment, you think about Caitlin Clark and you think about Angel Reese. They came in together, and now it's kind of like Angel Reese is kind of branched off more into fashion and everything else. She's still a baller. Don't get me wrong. She's made, I think she was the fastest WNBA player to get to, I got to check the exact stats, but the rebounds and the points in a career. She's making waves, but it was never fair to compare her to Caitlin Clark. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, they're two complete. It's like it's the LeBron Jordan comparison. They're two completely different players. they play a different style of game. And I don't understand why we're like we have this society where it's one or the other, right? Like, why can't we? I mean, were there that many passionate WNBA fans that were so loyal to one franchise that there was a reason to love one and hate the other? Like, it's almost like they got separated for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Two things can be true. Like, both of those players can play well, right? And there's, and I get it. Like, Angel Reese has a different personality. Anytime you're visible, I think, anytime you're confident in yourself, there are a lot of people out there that don't like that. I mean, look at what Shador Sanders is going through right now. People don't like a confident athlete. I don't know why.
And I think this too, Chad. I think it didn't help that they played against each other, in the national championship game, Iowa against LSU and the whole, the ring, finger and all that. I mean, the media ate it up. I know we are media, but let's be real. Like national outlets ate that up and they tied these two together. All that to be said, Caitlin Clark's, facing her own issues right now. Her and Stephanie White getting into disagreements on the bench. Discussions about the way they're managing her time. Like they got in trouble a few weeks ago, closer to a month ago, but a few weeks ago they got in trouble for not disclosing the right injury and announcing it like an hour or two before the game. Like they did not follow the proper protocol. They're trying to do rest management. It just seems very fishy for Caitlin Clark in Indiana. One thing's for certain though, she silenced a lot of doubters tonight. She said, "Guess what? If you want the fever to be relevant, then you better have Caitlin Clark fever because that's what you need in order to have a competitive basketball team." And again,
please tell me they have like Fever Dream promotions out there. Please tell me they do that, right? They got to do that.
Well, the Dreams, I believe, another team in the WNBA. So maybe stay away from. I don't know.
Fever.
I know, but
come on, man.
Chad, let's go to break. No, I'm kidding. Look, we got Double A Anthony Alford. I hear a Keurig going, which means my bro has had that Keurig rolling probably for about an hour, and that thing is a mean machine. In fact, we're gonna have Double A announce the company name maybe of the Keurig, so we can because who would give a better sponsor of the Keurig than Double A Anthony Alford? He would let you know that the thing has got him through so many midnight runs. When he didn't think he could get through an hour show, he Keurigged it up.
Bathroom. When you said midnight runs that way, that sounded like a bathroom issue. Let's episodes of Midnight Run. I think
we don't talk about what happens before the shows. All right, I'm just kidding. Listen, but no, honestly, and again, I want to thank. We're gonna bring him in a moment. I do want to just take the time. If you're just tuning in for the first time on Inside Edge Network. Today's been a wild day. If you missed the main event yesterday, I told the story about how I hit my face against a monkey bar on the park and how I'm still a little bit dazed and confused. And I called Double A during the break and said, "Look, bud, the people need you. We need you to. We're running one stream tonight. This is a classic NBA Finals game." And he goes, "Hey, Caitlin Clark had a game winner," and it just didn't compute in my brain that all of this basketball was happening. So I texted Double A after. I'm like, "Sorry, understood what's said, but we got you." So we're gonna obviously. Big news with Caitlin Clark too, but just so much basketball. And all that to be said, we appreciate Double A. He's going to join us in a moment. He's our program director, our bro.
Basketball is a summer sport. I don't care what anybody says. Basketball is a summer sport, man. Nobody listen. The NBA is fine. The regular season's fine, but this is where it's at right now. Like this is like end of May, early June. Like this is where it's at for basketball. I love this, man, and I get it. It's madness, whatever. That's college, but as far as pro basketball, it's a summer sport.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, hey. Buddy, we've done, I think, a good job so far. You're not going anywhere, though. Neither am I. We're going to take a quick pause. When we come back, somebody that puts up with my crazy ass, your crazy ass, every single day of the week, and keeps asking us to do this show every day. So, you know what? With all that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring
another option.
Yeah. Wait, careful, buddy. Careful. Things can change very quickly. No. All right. With that being said, we're going to bring in the program director of the Inside Edge Network, Double A Anthony Alford. After the break, he's going to talk some NBA Finals. He'll probably have some Caitlin Clark thoughts too. You never know with this guy. We do know one thing. It'll be unhinged. We're back on the Inside Edge Network. Transitioning. This is the end of Inside Edge Primetime. This is just full Inside Edge Network madness. Maybe we'll call it the crossover for the 11 o'clock hour. And then we'll go to Midnight Run.
Big credits out here.
Yeah, listen, pal. All right, we're back right after this with Double A Anthony Alford.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prize sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
And welcome back to the Inside Edge Network. Listen, I said it was a crossover. I didn't say we have sound for the crossover yet, okay? So we're working on it. We're shopping some things around. All right, listen. Usually Chad Bryan would be to my right, your right. I'm going to be honest. I don't know where he's at anymore. And the reason that is because we have brought the program director, our bro, Mr. Unhinged himself, Double A Anthony Alford, into the mix. And look, here we are. If you don't believe me, just look at us. Just look at us. There he is. Oh, Double A's to my right. You're right. Chad in the middle. And I'm Eli Moon. Double A, looking sharp as always, pal. And thank you for, as I was saying before the break, thanks for putting up with our crazy asses, because we're like sitting here and we're watching this finals game, and you called me like, Caitlin Clark had a game winner. I'm like, no, pal. Madison Square Garden is on fire right now. Like, they are going crazy.
You were in full denial of my assessment of Caitlin Clark's game winner. You didn't believe that it happened. Yeah, I just watched it. I just saw it. The ball went in the basket. You put the ball in the hole. It happened.
It did happen. And I'll tell you, man, what a night for basketball. Again, Double A Anthony Alford, host of Midnight Run, program director of Inside Edge Network, does a lot of great things here. He, like I said, keeps me sane. So with all that being said, Double A, I mean, Chad and I have been breaking it down. Chad will be with us and with all of you for the next at least 20 minutes. We'll see what his schedule's looking like. We will have Kyle Cornell joining us at the 11:20-ish mark of this program, and then Double A will do an hour. I don't know how you're going to do an hour after all this excitement, pal, but yes. Just your thoughts. I mean, let's dive into the NBA Finals. I think we got a lot of New Yorkers in here, and I think we got a lot of Texans in here right now celebrating their teams. And what are your thoughts of this Game 3, Double A? Because I'm getting chills, man. As a sports fan, the scenery of Madison Square Garden when the Knicks ran out into the intro and everything there. And, Chad and I, we out of all of the guys in the network, probably stay away from the politics the most. So we mentioned there was some booing at the game, before the game, but we'll leave it at that. Just a lot, pal. What are your thoughts?
Before I get to my thoughts, I'm going to present to you the thoughts of Charles Barkley. Eli, if you can, go to a cut is 609 Cardi B 1.
All right, here we go.
Knicks up 7, looking for a 3-0 lead. We've been competing with Cardi B here. We lost. Hey, I don't know if those B's, that might be Cardi D's. I sure am, new love indeed. I'm pretty sure those are B's. I don't know who said that, but I know it wasn't me.
Oh my gosh, pal.
I said, I don't know who said that, but it wasn't me.
Ernie Johnson, like, look, man.
EJ, just trying to keep it together, man.
Courtesy of ABC, ESPN, Ted Turner, TNT. Yeah, I think Charles Barkley's having a great. I think Eli.
And other letters in there, by the way, that you didn't say. That's okay.
Oh yeah. I think to answer your question, this is going to sound very odd what I'm about to say. This does not feel like a normal, regular old game 3 of an NBA Finals. This feels like if there was one game to determine a champion and it was played at Madison Square Garden, it has that feel tonight. Like this does. Yeah. This game, and I'm again, it's only game 3. This game feels almost bigger than certain game 7s. Like in terms of atmosphere, in terms of anticipation. And I keep thinking back to what Rizicki said on our airwaves last night. And because I said it to you guys, I'm like, I was with my family over the weekend, and a lot of people in my family, they're rooting for the Knicks, which surprised me. But Rob kind of put it into perspective. I know it's New York. I know it's New York City. I know we can complain about the Yankees and the Giants and, there's 2 teams, right? And I know technically New York has 2 basketball teams, but the Nets are a little irrelevant with this conversation. The New York Knicks have kind of struggled how the Browns have struggled. I mean, a little bit better results. They at least, made it to the finals. We have not made it to a Super Bowl. But I mean, still think about it. 50 plus years without winning it all. And this is the one team where the entire city rallies around their basketball team. Like, I can't even go out here and be like, man, these are fake fans. Like, Spike Lee's at every game. I like all 5 boroughs, like they're all representing. And it feels, I can't hate. And Eli, I'll excuse you because you know people personally in San Antonio. So you kind of don't count in this particular assessment. But I think just watching New York from the ground up with the Knicks, they're doing everything the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
root for it. That's Double A. I don't know if you heard me say it before you came on. I mean, they're just a really easy team to root for, man. It's an easy team right now, easy group of guys. I mean, it's really easy to root for the Knicks and want them to win.
Yeah, and you know what, Double A, Chad and I were talking, and I brought up 2 big points of why the Knicks are in the position they're in and why the Cavaliers may struggle to get to that point. It's because when the coach finally hit a plateau, the Knicks said, you know what, we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we fell short again. Tom Thibodeau, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for getting us to this point. You've helped coach up the defense. You've got us to be a perennial playoff contender, but we're trying to be a champion. And they moved on from Tom Thibodeau. Now, the Cavs can't do that. They've already decided they could have, but they didn't. They stayed with Kenny Atkinson. The move they could make, which is what the Knicks did. The Knicks looked at Julius Randle and said, thank you so much. We appreciate the grit and everything. We're going to go out and get somebody that we think can enhance this team to be a champion. And they went out and got Karl Anthony Towns. And since they've had Karl Anthony Towns, they have been to the Eastern Conference Finals and now in the finals. And it's crazy to think about that. That's almost similar to how the Cavaliers offseason is. 2 big decisions. Are they going to keep the coach, which they have? So we'll see how that works out with Kenny Atkinson. And are they going to make a big splash? Because if you're the Cavaliers, keep it Cleveland for just a second, and I'll open this up to both of you, Chad and Double A. If you're the Cavaliers, how can you, and I know you have your fears, Chad, but how can you rightfully, if you're Kenny Atkinson, if you're Kobe Altman, because mind you, Mike Gansey out as the general manager now in Philadelphia as president of basketball operations.
I'm sorry, Eli, real quick. I'll let you finish here. I don't mean to go Kanye on you.
I was just
hey, clip that, StreamYard. Clip that.
Limby is missing. Limby just missed a wide open left-handed layup. Like he is, he just made an incredible block beforehand, but offensively, he's been out of sorts. That's just something I just caught just now. Sorry, Eli, go ahead.
You are A-okay, pal. No, and I appreciate the update because, we're all keeping tabs on it right now and in a battle. And as Double A mentioned, Spurs and Knicks, final 3 minutes here, or just under 4 rather. At 108-101 is what I have here in favor of San Antonio. Might be a second or 2 delayed, but that's where we're at. Double A, how, and Chad, both you guys, how can you sit here if you're the Cavaliers and go, we're okay running it back with our guys? Because the Knicks have went out and upgraded, and they're in a position they're in now by going out and doing the Randall Karl-Anthony Towns swap. Other teams are going to go out and get better in the Eastern Conference. And if you're the Cavaliers, you're sitting here like, well, we did make the Eastern Conference Finals, but we kind of showed up and got a participation trophy for just stepping on the court. How can you, either one of you, it's open to either one of you, whoever answers first, but how can you rightfully, if your Cavaliers go, we're okay running it back? They have to make a big splash, whether it's Donovan, whether it's Mobley, they have to make a big splash, if not two, in the offseason.
I think every business goes through this question, right? Mm-hmm. Every business that has had a lick of success goes to this question, like, do we want to elevate, take a risk, take chances, and get to the next level, or are we cool where we're at right now? Yeah. Or I should say comfortable where we're at right now. And I feel and I fear that the Cavaliers, they're going to look at this Knicks run. They're going to look at what has happened to them the last 3 years and say, man, all we got to do is just run it back and one move here, one move there, like minor moves, like duct tape moves.
Depth, yeah.
And they're going to think they're okay. I think the Cavaliers, to answer your question, Eli, and I think, because I heard you guys before, I think Chad is in the same wavelength as me here. They feel that like they're comfortable right now. Yeah. Like the triggering thing to me is when I hear Donovan Mitchell give a 4-minute monologue after getting eliminated from the playoffs about why we should appreciate James Harden. I'm like, no disrespect to James Harden. He's a fine player, future Hall of Famer. You just got your ass kicked. I don't want to hear a 4-minute monologue about why we should feel sorry for James Harden. You just lost. And it's those things like that. Like, people who are comfortable do not feel the need to get better. And that's the entire culture of the Cavaliers. That's why other teams like the Knicks are in the finals and will be a fine regular season team that makes an appearance in the second round and might hit our way through the Eastern Conference Finals, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Can we just get somebody in this organization? And it's going to sound crazy, but I don't mean the type of player, the caliber of player, but just with the mindset of a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. Can we get someone in here who's going to be the player that will absolutely not let this franchise fail, no matter what it takes, right?
Draymond Green.
Fine.
Or the guy in the Mecca right now, Jalen Brunson. He's. I mean, I
know
we're not getting him. I know we're not getting him, but
someone like that, someone with that mindset. Yes,
exactly.
Yes, I remember they were up 2-0 in the finals. Talking, well, why aren't you smiling, Kobe? What's wrong with you? Are you upset? Job's not done. Yeah. Period. Job's not done. And these guys have gotten to the Eastern Conference Finals. They got swept 4-0, and they're like, hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wear a Mets hat, which is, by the way, blue and orange, same color as the team that just swept you out of the Eastern Conference. And I'm going to talk about, hey, I'll see you in 19 weeks. I don't care. I've already won in life. It doesn't matter to me. Winning doesn't matter. I don't care about winning. And, bro, that's the leader of this franchise. That's the on-court. By the way, when he's on the bench, I don't know if you saw him. I think it was game 3 or game 4. He's yelling at the bench, and no one's even looking at him, right? They're like, where's Timothy?
They have no reason to respect him, Chad. Why would you respect somebody who's okay with losing?
Exactly.
Like, he's perfectly fine with losing. I mean,
I bet he's a great guy, AA. I bet he's a great human being. No problem with him. But I mean, you've got to have that. You've got to have that little bit of a person. Sometimes maybe some people see it as a personality flaw, where you're not worried about what your teammates or your whoever think of you. You're just listen. I'm gonna jump on my shoulder. I'm dragging you to this championship. You may not like me right now, but in 20 years, when you look back on your career and you've got 3 championships, because of my mentality, because of my whatever it is, whatever that X factor is, and obviously with Kobe and Michael Jordan, there's great basketball players, right? But it's also that mentality. You've got to have, you're going to thank me, right? And when you look back on your legacy and you've got 3 or 4 rings, because I told you the job wasn't done, and I refused to smile, and I refused to tell you that, hey, I don't care if we lost. I won in life. Doesn't matter. See you in 19 weeks. I'm on vacation, bro. That's almost 5 months, right? Like, why are you happy about that?
Yeah,
get it.
And you think about it, fellas, and we got to take a quick break here for a moment. We are about to get even more unfiltered, if you catch my drift. But what I will say is we are gonna take a quick. That's what I was gonna say. We're gonna take a quick break. I will say one more thing before we go to break. Mikal Bridges has been one of my favorite players. If we are gonna choose a favorite player of the postseason, because he remembers being up 2-0 in Phoenix against the Milwaukee Bucks in that 2021 NBA Finals, if I recall correctly, 2021, and they were up 2-0 on Giannis and the Bucks. And that was the Suns team with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and all those guys, Jay Crowder, and they dropped that series. In fact, they lost 4 in a row to the Bucks, if I'm not mistaken. They lost.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah, they did.
And Mikal Bridges keeps going. Every time they ask him, he's like, it's 0-0. We got to play desperate. Got to play desperate.
Yeah.
This team is not. You are going to have to actually take a stake to the heart, like a vampire, to kill the New York Knicks or unalive them. We're on YouTube. But that's what we're going to have to do.
Like a T-bone? A fillet?
Well,
listen,
honestly,
why do we always talk about food on this show?
I'm always hungry.
But to be honest, too, that's any team that gets hot and gets to this level. We watched it last year with Indiana. We watched it with Boston. We watched it with New York last year. I mean, it's just when things get tough. And the thing that pisses me off the most about those comments with Donovan Mitchell, you know, and the whole Cavs attitude is like, it would be one thing if this was like rec league basketball. And, you know, you are doing this for fun.
Yeah.
But you're professional athletes. People are spending their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
For the idea, you know, like college football is going through a major gambling story right now, and people are looking and saying, man, the sports have the legitimacy of professional wrestling at this point. And, you know, like, listen, you have an obligation as a professional athlete to do everything possible to either win or at least give the effing illusion that you're trying to win or do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. No, you're spot on, Double A. We're going to get some more thoughts from both of you. Don't know if we will keep Chad Bryan, but if we keep Chad Bryan, you'll see him after the break.
New York's keeping it close, Eli.
They are. I'm seeing it here. I'll give a quick update. We're going to bring Kyle Cornell 111-108. Real final seconds, and what better time than it's always.
You know what, Eli, keep it here because it's down to the final 20
seconds. Let's go ahead
seconds.
And bring him in. Let's bring him in. The host of Unfiltered, 5 to 6 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network. The one, the only, the uncomparable, as he would always
Good
say.
shot.
Yeah, so close enough. At least he didn't say windbreaker. It's Kyle Cornell, everybody. Kyle.
Want to start off by saying Eli can eat a dick about the windbreaker stuff again. That's great. I'm glad I can't beat the allegations.
If you're watching
on that
and you
one.
want to sponsor our network, oh, sorry.
What is this? What is this like slander about me and Chad being on the same airwaves? We love each other. What are we talking about?
I just got a little nervous, man. All right, listen.
I ain't gonna lie. We kept y'all separate for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, thanks.
We're
So
very
we're
good. We're going to yell at each other for a minute, then we'll be fine.
Kyle, we got you here. We were going to take a quick pause, but yeah, it's down to the final seconds here. 113-108.
Yeah.
We're going to open the floor to you because we've been sharing our thoughts. What have been your thoughts on this game 3 and just overall? Because I know you've had some thoughts on this Knicks team leading into this point to the postseason, but just what are your thoughts on what has been really, for a lack of better words, a fantastic game 3 cinema, as they call it in the wrestling world?
We haven't seen cinema in about 4 years. But no, yeah, this is exactly kind of what you were hoping for the Spurs in this moment. A big shot by De'Aaron Fox a couple seconds ago too to put them back up by 5. They needed that. I think it's safe to say, barring some sort of crazy miracle, a 5-point game with 12 seconds left, you're in step with that. But still, you can't say it's over till it's over with this Knicks team, right? They just keep finding ways to win games, and that's the makeup of champions. And I was going to be really curious to see if they could actually get over the hump and lose. Like, it was almost impossible for the Knicks to lose a game. They were playing that well and just finding ways. They were down by double digits, multiple games, down 22 to Cleveland right in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left. They find a way to win the game. They just kept finding ways. Another big shot. I mean, like, that's
unreal.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable right now.
Now, Anunoby decides they hit a 3. I don't even know what to say about this except that this team, until they lose the game, the momentum is going to keep pushing them through. Like, I will not be surprised if they find a way to get this game into overtime, just because they just seemingly always seem to figure it out. It just seems to happen. Like, those teams are special. It's once a year. Indiana was like this last year, and now they were the worst team in basketball this year. And I get Tyrese Halliburton was injured, but they didn't re-sign Miles Turner. They admitted they punted on the season, so to speak. They admitted they went from a team that went to Game 7 of the NBA Finals to the worst record in basketball. Like, the parity is ridiculous when it comes to some of these teams. The Knicks will not be back here again. I'm letting you guys know now. This is their year. This is their chance. They know it. That's why the effort is all there, all that stuff. They'll be a good team, but this kind of run doesn't happen even for the best teams that you ever rarely see.
Now, the
Golden
one
State
thing,
won 73 games in a season, didn't win the championship. I mean, like,
But
this doesn't happen. This kind of run doesn't happen.
the one thing I would say, Kyle, because I understand your point, it's rare to get, first off, this type of magic from a team like how New York's playing. The one thing I will say about, to your point about New York not getting back here is they are New York. It's not like we're talking about a mid-major market. So a finals championship could bring a Giannis or somebody else there to look to repeat. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying they're the front runner to get them, but I think an NBA championship for this team would really spark the run of, in their minds, a dynasty. They start thinking of how can we go get 2, 3, and do they get there? We'll see, right? That's why they play the games. But
yeah,
I disagree just respectfully a little bit, because I think because of the major market they're in, an NBA championship opens up the door for LeBron, for Giannis, for some of these guys. They're gonna at least entertain the New York Knicks.
Do you think, real quick,
the market means nothing, guys? I just want to point that out. Nowadays, you can be a star in any market. That's why Anthony Edwards is still considered one of the faces of basketball in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota. I used to live there. I know what it's like. Victor Wembanyama is in San Antonio. It's a small market team. It is what it is. Like there's the big market thing is just money. It's not anything else. And anymore, the Cavaliers have the most expensive roster. They're Cleveland. So it's not even really a money thing anymore. It's really about where you want to play, who's on the team. Eli, your point is more true because they're a good team, not because of the market they're in.
But I think New York, here's my thing, and I know you rock the pinstripes and you guys got us tonight. But I'm
not going to brag. It's a regular season game in June. Who gives a shit?
I will say.
I'll talk to you in October when we beat you guys in the playoffs. That's when it matters.
Hey, we take our W last week.
And that was Kyle Cornell, everybody. Thank you so much. Kyle Cornell, thank you for all the great content. We will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. No, but all joking aside, bud.
Don't silence me just because you have a title. Get the fuck out of here.
I have not once even said it on here.
Hey, Double A, roll in your assistant program director right now. Hone him in a little bit.
Listen. No, all joking aside.
I muted him. It's okay.
Oh, God.
You son of a bitch.
We're going to have a new meme of the week here shortly.
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, no. But what I will say, Kyle, I get the major market thing, but again, it is New York. I've spent a few times in New York just seeing how important Madison Square Garden and this Knicks team is. That's why I would say not even the major market, because I understand your point about other stars, but just it being New York, the mecca of basketball. A lot of stars dream of
the spectacle of playing in New York and Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I mean, I get your point. And do you remember, by the way, Eli, when we first started talking about the Giannis trade rumors, back when we were whispering his name because we didn't want to say it too loudly to scare him away, like it's a squirrel in our yard. One of the first squirrel. I can relate to that. I have ADHD, but yeah, one of the first things I said to you was, he's going to the Knicks. I feel like that's where he's going to end up in New York. And I had no idea the Knicks were going to go on this run, right? And possibly grab his attention and LeBron's attention. But I think you're right in this case. I think this run maybe not necessarily just because it's New York, but because it is Madison Square Garden, and because this is looking. They're on the cusp of possibly being a great team. You add Giannis to that. That depends on what they have to give up, right? They're gonna have to give up something. But yeah, that would be a terrifying development. Or I keep, like in my dreams, it's like in my nightmares, I keep seeing Giannis in Boston as well. And then it's like, well, there goes the Cavs run. You know what I mean? Like it feels like it's gonna be one of those two teams, and that's kind of where I've been from the start.
Yeah, go ahead, Double.
I was gonna say, with this game in particular, you're gonna hear if New York can't come back and they lose this one. The first quarter, San Antonio outscored New York 33-22.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hear all the stuff about all the extracurriculars, going into it. And there was TSA level security. I saw Wemby getting patted down and stuff, but you'll hear about that. And I'm sure that's going to be a major storyline in New York City tomorrow morning. But no, the Spurs made the adjustments. I just saw the stat there that Wemby and Castle, the first teammates under the 22 or younger that have scored 20 points or more in a finals game. So it's just little things like that. But just watch. That's going to be a story tomorrow morning if New York can't win tonight.
Why? They came back and scored 42 points in the second quarter and had a lead at halftime. No, the story is going to be San Antonio woke up in the second half. That's going to be the story.
Well, that should be the story. I'm just
And
saying
Trump
in New
got
York
cheered.
City.
Can you believe that? Everywhere you go, the president gets booed. He turns out he was Adam Silver in his first 3 years as the NBA commissioner. The first 10 seconds, he got a standing ovation. Then they started to boo because they were like, "Oh wait, we're supposed to boo the president." That's what looking at. It was hilarious. I loved it. It was funny.
There was a lot of things. There was a lot of things going on with that. But again, I mean, yes, once the game got going, I mean, you are where you're at right now.
It's over.
But
It was
hey,
going final,
San Antonio
but-
needed this.
Yeah, and it did go final officially 115-111. San Antonio takes one in Madison Square Garden.
Had
They
to
are
have
the first winner of a finals game in Madison Square Garden this century. Put that in a trivia game. All right, so I know the Knicks fans that are watching here right now probably not thrilled with that statement, but sorry.
Cardi,
The truth
you're
hurts.
As my kids would remind me, Eli, it's been since the 1900s. Yeah, when that thanks for
Oh
doing
God.
Yeah, I
when
appreciate
you put it like
I
that,
saw
we
a
feel old.
TikToker, Chad.
What's-
Chad, I saw a TikToker, and she was like, this hasn't happened since the late 1900s. I wanted to chuck my phone across the room.
Well, I put in the comparison in the chat when we started this about an hour and a half ago. When we started up prime time, I said, hey, the last time the Knicks were in a finals game, I was a month away from being 2 years old.
Wow.
Hey,
That's-
Eli,
yeah,
where
it's-
was your favorite player in tonight's game?
Who was yeah.
Can't
I
have
mean,
that. Can't have
yeah.
it. He's got to at least keep it 15. You can't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, Kyle.
2
we've talked-
points in 30 minutes, bro.
Well, I'll say this, Mikhail. I like Mikhail, but I'm more on OG Anunoby, and we can pull the tape. I had mentioned about OG Anunoby, Kyle, and him being the 2-way player.
The sad
Mikhail-
part is he had the best plus minus. He
I
was
was
plus
going to say
11.
it was plus 11, right?
And my thing is,
That's
I
so
get
wild.
And I get your point about Mikal Bridges, and obviously I stood strong on the wings, but OG Anunoby was the guy I was more so passionate about. When we go back and look at that post game, Kyle, I know he's not.
Can we run the clip from like 20 minutes ago when Eli said Mikal Bridges was like the best player in the planet, and like he remembers everything from Phoenix back when they were.
I
they were
did
up
not
2-0.
say he was. I am so.
You-
Hey,
you said he was. You said he. You said he.
Show?
I can learn. Damn it. He said he was.
Yeah, okay.
He said he was going to name his firstborn child after him, call him Mikhail Mooningham because it's double M and it
so
sounds
sick of
cool.
you.
Like, did you hear?
I have put up enough for you this
I
week.
thought the Michaela Braun. I thought that comment was weird. Yeah, I was like, you can't. That was weird.
I'm so
Yeah,
sick of
right?
all you.
He
Listen,
put him on his Mount Rushmore. I did the top 5 list. He mentioned Mikal Bridges 4 times in his top 5. I'm like, whoa, maybe just once, buddy. Take it
I
easy.
told my mom I wouldn't smoke
Pictures of
cigarettes
Bridges up
anymore.
there.
I told my mom I wouldn't smoke cigarettes anymore. Tonight will not be the night I start smoking cigarettes. I promise.
Not because
Promise.
of you, Kyle Cornell.
vape. Hit the vape.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely be hitting the vape during the break. But no, all love, obviously all love. I'll be with Kyle Cornell. He'll be with us, I'd imagine, after the break. He's with us and with you every weekday, and I'm behind the scenes hearing him make fun of me and meme of the week and all that great stuff. 5 to 6 p.m. weekdays. But again, real quick, if you are here for the first time, Kyle does a great job with news, current events. Does talk some sports. Maybe we'll get some finals talk tomorrow out of him. But just a lot of great stuff from Kyle. If you want Unfiltered, well, tune in to the show, Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. We joke and we mess around, but I'll be with him every day of the week. I appreciate rocking with him. He's one of my bros. All these guys on my screen. Double A, he'll be with you midnight run, midnight to 1, here tonight and every weeknight. And then Chad and I are typically 10 to 11 p.m., but then these guys, they pull us in a bunch of directions, say, you're staying on. And I say, okay, all right, I'm staying on. I'm
Working
staying on.
overtime, mandatory overtime. All right.
Listen,
I was
you're
going to go to
midnight.
Meyer. And then Double A texts me, hey, you want to jump on at 11:20? I'm like, sure, shit.
Yeah.
At least
I
my
love
power
it.
stayed on. I'm pretty happy about that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I will say this real quick. We're going to take a quick pause. We'll come back, guys. We'll recap now that the game's final. Kyle, you brought up Mikal. Yeah, he didn't have a great game. But the guy that we were talking about a few weeks ago in this Cavs-Knicks series when they were still playing in the Eastern Conference Finals was OG Anunoby. And I said, yes, he's not a superstar. He's not going to be the guy per se. But he's going to have a few games where you're going to need him to do what he did tonight. And tonight,
sure.
he had a good game. And that's what I'll say.
Yeah.
It's not even I told you so because
No, because you were right on that. He's not the guy, but if he can give you a game or two like this, you feel pretty good about that kind of player. If he's a 15 point per game guy and he gives you a random 25 to 30 point game, yeah, of course we're going to take that because he's capable of doing it.
yeah.
But again, on this team, he's the 3rd or 4th option,
Yes,
depending on who's
correct.
hot. So that's
Correct.
just what it is.
I agree. It's definitely Brunson and Cat, and then you can have a discussion on the third guy. I'd probably say Josh Hart, just depending on how much.
Depends on the game. Depends on the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. It literally depends on the night with Foul Hart.
Well, let's take a quick pause here, fellas. I know Chad B is going to have to start with the time machine and like go back in time and find some energy because he's been rocking and rolling since illegal formation earlier today on the Inside Edge
I
Network.
think he ran out of coffee.
Yeah, something happened. Said my whole house shut down. So
Drink it out the pot.
Well, I'll say this. If you're here for the first time, I mentioned the shows, Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. every weekday with Unfiltered. Chad and I, 10 to 11 p.m. here on Inside Edge Primetime every weeknight. And Double Anthony out from midnight to 1 here every weeknight. All we're missing is one Omar Clausel, 9 to 11 a.m., but he might be sleeping. Sleeping.
Hold up. I
He
got a
only
bone
has
to
to
pick
host a
with
morning
Kyle.
show.
Hold up. I got a bone to pick with Kyle real quick.
What?
You were talking video games earlier.
Yeah, damn
And
right.
the first thing I thought of, what the hell happened to E3? That used to be, that
E3.
was the video game convention from way back when.
Oh, I
That
don't know.
was
I
the
didn't.
Comic-Con of video games. That was Tech TV,
God.
Olivia Munn, Adam Sessler.
TV, I haven't thought
Nerd.
about that in a long time. Wow.
I think
forget-
the
old.
downfall of our video games is due to the lack of E3.
See,
not existing anymore.
This is one of my favorite times on screen because literally next to each other, you have Chad and I who are like, respectfully, we disagree. And then you get Side Hustle, and these guys like go at it, and they're like 3 minutes into the show, they're like, this is why you're wrong. And we're
Listen,
gonna talk about-
listen. All right. Hey,
Respectfully, I hate you
do-
and I hate
do-
your point.
do a show with the guy to my right, your right, or whatever the fuck for 2.5 years, and you tell me how you want to talk to him at this point.
Boy, I love you all, and I love everybody out there rocking
Facts.
with us.
Facts.
Like, subscribe, follow Inside Edge Net. Smash that notification bell, as Kyle Cornell says. Make sure you smash it. You see him getting ready there right below me. He wants you to hit that notification bell so you can stay locked in. We're going to have a lot of reaction right now till 1 in the morning. Get Midnight Run at midnight, but the guys are going to stick around for a little bit longer. And then, of course, we have all of the weekly or the daily programming tomorrow, starting with the morning show with Omar and all the way back to Midnight Run at Double A. Double will be with you around 24 hours from now, I guess.
It was like,
I-
who's
I
Olive?
love-
thought-
I
was
love
like, who's
watching.
Olive?
I love watching Eli go through outro or send the breaks. It's just so much fun.
Yes, thank you.
You
One
get
more
so
time.
much information.
All
Inside
7
Edge,
minutes of it.
InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you're going to want to go. Chad B, be very careful because if
Hold
I
up.
talk to you,
Eli, repeat after me. We'll be right back after these messages.
well, you heard Double A. I don't even have to repeat it twice. You heard the man. We're back after this.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
All right. We had a great show today here on Inside Edge Morning Show. Talked a lot about the Science Center and the Titanic exhibit there. So make sure you check it out. We also talked about the finals coming up in New York and touched a little bit on roller coasters and Eli's Fear of Heights. So check us out. Make sure you like and subscribe InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Keep it locked with you. Keep it locked right here with us. More great content. Check us out. Inside Edge Morning Show with Omar Clausel.
And we thank you for your support of the Inside Edge Network. And don't miss my show, Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You won't miss a single episode when you like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net.
All right, listen, how cool would it be if we could come back in with some licensed music? Because I would be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like the circus or something, because that's what that last segment felt like. This isn't Inside Edge Primetime. We need more graphics, folks. And you can support that by representing Cleveland's digital leader and following Inside Edge Net. Had to get that in before the guys completely bash me on air. I am not safe. In fact, I am in danger. I am Eli Moon, and and the inmates are running the asylum. Let's go ahead and pull them out. Kyle Cornell below me, host of Unfiltered 5 to 6 p.m. on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, your right, up top. Co-host with me on Inside Edge Primetime 10 to 11. And then the host of Midnight Run, the program director of the Inside Edge Network, Double A Anthony Alford, below Chad. And Double A, you're in your 11 o'clock jog right now before your midnight run.
Yeah. This is usually nap time for me. But we'll be ready. Hey, Eli, look at it this way. You're doing a better hosting job than Charles Barkley. You know, at least Cardi B is not on your screen right now.
Kyle, did you see that?
No, I didn't. And thank God I didn't.
No, it's perfect. Actually, I'm glad you're here. Let's go ahead and one more time. Courtesy of the NBA and ESPN. Here's Charles Barkley on the halftime performance tonight.
Knicks up 7, looking for a 3-0 lead. We've been competing with Cardi B here. We lost. Hey, I don't know if those B's, that might be Cardi D's. I sure am. New love indeed. I'm pretty sure those are B's. I don't know who said that, but I know it wasn't me.
Courtesy of Inside the NBA on ESPN, or as Double says, TNT.
Gotta
ABC.
watch them Cardi B's.
Poor EJ, man. EJ's like, listen.
How they gonna have a whole? See, this is why this is not a normal game 3 of the NBA Finals. When since they have had a halftime show during the finals?
Yeah, dude.
What are they doing over there in New York City? Are they not busy enough?
Dude, I love it. Dude.
It's New York, man. It's New York.
The best is yet to come.
Dude, I
will
it.
tell you this, though. In New York, the one time I was out there, it was for WrestleMania 35 weekend. If you stop on a sidewalk in New York City, you may be unalived. That is an indicator you are not from there. They move fast. It's busy all the time. Don't stop and be like, "Ooh, where should I go?" Don't do that. Don't do that. Just keep walking. I don't care if you walk into the wrong building.
Just
go to like the second floor of McDonald's. Find somewhere and figure it out then.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
The second floor of a McDonald's is wild.
I'm not even kidding.
I know. That's why
every restaurant there are 2 or 3 stories.
Every restaurant is like the Independence McDonald's.
Yeah.
Dude, hey, real quick to pull the curtain back. That Independence McDonald's that changed my life when we found out there was a second story, and we went up there
now. It'll change your life again.
Right. McMansion is a nice story until you know.
And that's how you end up with the midnight runs, by the way.
I want my McDonald's looking like it was built in the Roman Empire. Can you throw some pillars on this bitch?
Speaking of the Roman Empire, you can go ahead and check Kyle Cornell and Double A Anthony Alford out here every Friday morning at 5 a.m. Their Side Hustle Wrestling podcast drops on the Inside Edge Network.
We're taking a break, Eli.
I know. But
we'll have
a break in 17 minutes. Before we do.
We'll have clips. Hey, Raw was actually pretty good today.
I watched
the
half
other
of it.
show that's not that good.
Kyle waits for me to deliver a lead, and he's like, I can't wait to punch him in the face and end his lead real quick.
Oh, dude, it's great. I love it when you host because then all the pressure's off of me. I can just be an asshole. It's great.
Somebody yawn and you touch their tongue and ruin the yawn. It's the same thing. It's the same.
Well, have you heard about the turtle tongue, guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch the new episode after Midnight Run tonight.
Oh no, there's a new episode on every day. It feels like.
Yeah, it is. It is every night except Wednesdays.
This fucking turtle tongue.
Of the show that started in 2022. That's how that happens.
God. Kyle, your boy got eliminated.
Yeah, what a fucking idiot, by the way. Great job, Sean. Have fun staying at the hotel until the end of July. You're out of the villa, and you're out of a fucking job, dude.
He put a job for that, didn't he?
So stupid.
Put a hashtag Love Island up. What are we talking about?
Police officer headline.
Hey,
Love
can
Island.
I say something? Can I say something really quick? I did some math. This actually involves the game we're supposed to be talking about. I feel like mostly to blame for that anyway, but there was a game. The stats for Jalen Brunson are kind of eye-opening, and not in a good way. Because if he was shooting a half a decent percentage right now, the Knicks should have won all 3 of these games by 15, 20 points.
Fair.
Yeah.
Like his overall shooting percentage, he's 30 of 81 overall. That's a 37% clip. This is a guy during the regular season who shot the ball really well.
Yeah.
Even from 3, just 30%. Today was his one game where he actually shot decent. He was 3 of 5. Not a lot of attempts, but hey, made them when they counted, sure.
Yeah.
But again, 27.3 points per game in the finals, but shooting at 37%. If he's shooting at near 50, this team is blowing San Antonio out of the water.
No, you're right.
He's got to figure it out and get the.
He's a volume.
It's one thing.
Yeah.
Well, again, he's got to hit the shots, man, and these are not difficult shots. A lot of them are layups. They're mid-range shots that he's taken and he's made. Like if he can get the efficiency part of his game back, this will be a very quick series.
How much of that
games.
do you think, Kyle, is just him looking over his shoulder and knowing Wemby's down there at 8'7" or whatever? It's got to change your.
Yeah, but he's picking his spots, and a lot of those drives, he's waiting and pulling Wemby out and getting past him. So now it's okay. He's not down there, go in and finish, but he's still settling for 12, 14-foot jumpers, fadeaways, trying to play into contact, which, listen, he's making his free throws at least. That's good. He's shooting a decent percentage from the foul line. But, you have to be able to convert more. If you're going to take 30 shots a game, you got to give him 15 makes. And it's the finals now. You have to do this. Otherwise.
And I'll add on, too, Karl Anthony Towns, only 11 points. From the field.
He didn't do.
And only one assist. It's not like he had 11 points and 14 assists. I mean, the ball.
Exactly. If we're talking about Cat, if we're talking about Cat being one of the best players, I said he was the best player, in the first 2 games of the finals. Like that can't happen.
I called him a poor man's Jokic. You can't go out there and get 11 points and 1 assist, and I rescind my statement. He's not a poor man's Jokic. That's
I rescind my offer.
No deal.
Bankruptcy.
I mean, and we are obviously, if you're just tuning in now, and a lot of you have been standing strong with us since we started, but it is final 115-111. San Antonio now down 2-1. And keep this in mind. No home team has won yet in the NBA Finals. Knicks have taken both in San Antonio, and the Spurs have taken the one in New York. And you know what, guys? I got to be honest. I got to ask the question. I'm going to ask all of you. I'll start with Kyle, and we'll kind of work our way around back to me. But this game, and Double A talked about it, Kyle. He talked about how important this game was. And I get it's game 3. I get it. But just all of the hoopla we've been discussing for a variety of reasons. Madison Square Garden gated off earlier this day. The New York is just chomping at the bits to celebrate a win and a championship victory. Where could their heads be at, the players, not the fans? Where could the players' heads be at after dropping the first game this century, a finals game in Madison Square Garden? And to your point, Jalen Brunson, 32 points tonight, but not shooting efficiently. And it's going to take for San Antonio. I'll be honest. I've been really harping on Dylan Harper. All it's going to take is a few big games from Harper and Fox combined. Like both of them to step up and have good games, which they're capable of doing. And this is a completely different series, and we're heading back 2-2 going to San Antonio. So where are their heads at, pal?
Well, I mean, again, they were a hop, skip, and a missed mid-range shot from Wemby away from losing game 2. It's been close. So even game 1, I mean, back and forth, they pulled away late, win by 10. That's great. But game 2 was a toss-up. And this game, for a lot of it, started off hot with San Antonio. New York came roaring back, outscored them by 18 in the second quarter. They were going into halftime with the lead again. And San Antonio just stepped up in the second half and did more. Like they just did. Again, I wonder now that they've lost a game. And I mentioned this before about momentum. Double A doesn't believe this with me. I think if the Cavs hold on in game 1 and they win by 15, 20 points, it changes the series. They still may lose that series because New York, I think, was just playing better overall basketball, which is totally fine. But I think maybe it goes 6, maybe even 7 games again, just because momentum plays a huge factor. New York had won, 13, 14 straight games coming into tonight in the postseason? They haven't lost a game in over a month and a half. How do they respond to a loss? Last time they lost a game, right, they went on a 14-game win streak, whatever it was. Tonight, how do they respond is going to be big. The hoopla, and it's a cool stat to say, the first team to win a game at MSG in the 21st century is the San Antonio Spurs. It's fun. It's fun to just say it. The players aren't thinking about that right now. They're thinking about how are we going to respond after this because we haven't been punched in the mouth in almost 2 months.
Yeah, you're right.
What's next? How do we get back to winning again and going back to San Antonio up 3-1 and making them feel like the pressure's on them again and not going back to San Antonio 2-2 and now it's a best of 3 series?
You're spot, and I'm going to hand it to you, Double A. Kyle, you bring up a good point. Obviously, yeah, we're going to talk about all the stats. I do wonder, my friend, I just wonder about all the pressure because this doesn't feel like a normal final series just with the magnitude of it being, I know we talked about the big market, but the way the Knicks fans have showed out and really rallied around this team, it does feel like a bigger than life, a spectacle here. But you're spot on. The players are going to have to rebound in Double A. To Kyle's point, 13 straight for the Knicks. 2 straight sweeps to get here after the first round little battle with the Hawks for a moment. What are your thoughts on these Knicks right now?
Well, it seemed like the Spurs for the first time in the series moved quicker than the Knicks. I mean, the first 2 games, New York was just running up and down and being efficient. And, they were never really comfortable, New York, even though they made a run. We're seeing highlights of Brunson getting pushed around by Wemby a little bit. So that's another issue that you're going to have to face there too. I mean, they're going to have to be just as physical as San Antonio. The Spurs kind of recognized that the officials are letting them play, after these first 2 games. So I think that's a big part of it. You guys have already touched on it. I'll get more into it in about 10 minutes. This was not a normal game. I know this is not going to be a popular statement at all in New York City. I think the Knicks in the back of their heads, man, if we could play every single game in San Antonio and not have to worry about the noise back home, we just ball, I think they would take it because I do think there was a lot of noise coming into this game. That's why I think, listen, I'm not going to say the winner of Game 4 is going to win the series. I think this has been really a neck-and-neck series. I don't think that's the case, but I'm very fascinated by Game 4. I could not tell you who's going to win Game 4 because I think it will be more of a neutral battle there. But yeah, this was not a normal game, and San Antonio just looked quicker. New York was never comfortable in this game.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Chad Bryan, this is a San Antonio team that won not one, but 2 games in Oklahoma City, the defending champions up to this point. This is a team that we have talked about on this network. All of us have spent time talking about if any team, and I texted you after the 2-0 deficit, and you said, man, the Knicks look good. And I said, if any team I trust in the NBA this season, playoff-wise and the performances, to go get not 1, but 2 in Madison Square Garden, it's this young, scrappy San Antonio Spurs team. And I use the word scrappy because they got a lot of guys that are going to fight on that bench, and they're led by that nucleus. Victor Wembanyama, 22 years old. Stephon Castle at 21 years old. Yeah. And Dylan Harper at 20 years old. A rookie. The son of Ron Harper, so he has that legacy. But, Chad, if the Spurs take Game 4, where would your mindset be in terms of where this series swings? Because they'd head back to San Antonio. To Kyle and Double A's point, it's a best of 3 with the home court advantage back in San Antonio. If they can win Game 4, it is now back home court in their favor. They just have to win their games at home to win the finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think Game 4 is so pivotal right now. I think a little bit of the pressure is kind of back on the Knicks. Like you can't go to San Antonio and win both games there and then come home and lose both games at Madison Square Garden.
They might.
Well, they might. Yeah, they might. They might. Well, yeah, but they won't feel good about that. And I think if this is one of those situations where I feel like Game 4 is pivotal because if the Knicks win Game 4, it's almost like I expect the series to be over in 5. If the Spurs win Game 4, this thing's going 7. It's just the way it's going to go, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know where their heads are at right now, but I do think there's a little bit of pressure back on the Knicks. I think we've seen them respond pretty well. I mean, but to Kyle's point, I mean, they haven't lost a game since, it was the late 1900s. No, it hasn't been that long, but it's been a month and a half. Like you said, it's been a long time.
Defensively, New York gave the Spurs too much space, particularly in the fourth quarter. The Knicks, their shots were falling after the first quarter, but not enough defensive pressure from the Knicks. And the Spurs made their shots. Yeah. And that was even alarming in Game 2, even though New York won the game. Yeah. But, yeah, they need to body up these Spurs just a little bit more.
Kyle, go ahead.
I don't know why this is coming to my head, but for some reason, talking about this game, talking about the series and how it's kind of shaking out is giving me weird flashbacks of the Miami Dallas finals in 2011, where it kind of felt like one team is just they're hot. They obviously, I know the Knicks don't have the Heat talent, but I'm saying like the way they were winning games and how they're doing it and the streak they were on, it was like this team should win this finals. Like they should roll through. And the way they showed up in the first couple games, and then Dallas decided to wake the hell up and win it in 6. Like I don't know what's going to happen, but man, if the Knicks lose Game 4, they may drop 4 straight, because this is one of those things where they had all this momentum, they put all this effort, all this time in, they got everyone on their side. New York is bumping. I don't buy there's obviously pressure in every finals game, but I mean, like, I know it's a little heightened. It's New York. It's the mecca of basketball. If I hear it one more time, I'm going to fucking throw up. It's like, whatever, sure. And I'm a Yankee fan.
I was going to
don't
say,
fucking want to hear it. Like, I don't,
say.
well, New York's a great place for baseball. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's 2026. We're here now.
Look, you can be
now.
a Guardians fan, bud.
Kyle, listen, if nothing else, your point reminded me of the time where we all rooted for the Mavaliers. Do you remember that?
The Mavaliers.
Actually, after that stupid song we did the year before, probably was a good idea for LeBron. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kyle.
It gives me that kind of vibe where the Knicks had the door open. They almost had to kind of slam it shut tonight and go up 3-0 because now they have shown a chink in the armor that we haven't seen since the Atlanta series. And that was a long time ago. Chad, you're right. It was a long time ago. I don't know. Now, they can come out in Game 4 and they can blow the doors off San Antonio. They can play just like they have been. We're going to see now if my momentum theory is right or wrong, Double A. We're going to see it. Like, okay, here it is. Like, they lost their momentum tonight. San Antonio came in. They won a game on that floor. Like, now what? Are they going to be able to respond and play like they were, or are they going to go back to what they were doing in the regular season where they win some games and then they played really bad basketball? Like, it was really bad. And there was a lot of people talking about the Knicks falling to the 6th seed or possibly into the play-in tournament at one point before they got in a streak at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But there was a stretch there where the Knicks were around 500, about 2/3 of the way almost through the season. They were like, is this team even going to, like, make the playoffs normally? They're going to have to play in to try and get to the 7 or 8. Like, this is tough. And they found a way to get hot at the right time. But now momentum is in San Antonio's corner. How they handle it, how the Knicks handle it. Game 4 is the series, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you know what this all means, by the way? The Hawks are the second best team in the East.
They took them to the limit.
Hey, shout out CJ McCollum. He had
Go,
that
Birds, go.
Go.
Yeah, one thing is
Flapping the wings over there?
Yeah,
I got the space.
He's
Now
there.
you can see my set, so I can do it. It's great.
the one thing, we got a few moments here before you hand the baton off to Double A for Midnight Run.
Oh, he's got a show?
Yeah.
There was
Shit.
Yeah, he does it.
Who decided that? Who's the program director that signed off on that show?
Every weeknight, midnight to 1.
5 days a week, buddy.
You
5
already
days
said that.
or 5 nights.
I love
say
watching you
this.
descend into madness. It's great.
My other point too is, and Chad and I talked about it earlier on in the broadcast, during the primetime portion, was the Spurs are getting physical too. I think they were a little bit timid to kind of get physical with the Knicks. The Knicks weren't worried about it because they're like, guess what? We're a defensive-minded team. We're gonna play rough and tough.
Yeah.
We're gonna outmuscle you out of the building. And the Spurs decided tonight, we see the Wemby elbow, forearm, he's got a long arm, so whatever part of the body hit Jalen Brunson. But
37
long neck.
forearm too, by the way. That was ridiculous.
he threw an arm at Jalen Brunson. What part connected? We're not positive, but looked like an elbow of sorts. Pushed him down.
It was his third leg.
Yeah.
Is this the Cardi B thing we're talking about earlier?
No.
Yeah, 100%. It is. Yeah.
Hey,
listen.
they were the real winners tonight.
Listen, so I'll say this. You see the physicality out of Wemby, even Stephon Castle getting physical with these guys. That I think also is something to take notice. That the Spurs said, we're not going to get bullied out of MSG. You think this is a victory march for 2 more and you guys are celebrating? Not on our watch. We're going to show you that we're ready to go. So I think that stood out too, guys, to me at least. The physicality early on set the tone for San Antonio that we're not going to be out-muscled out of the building. And, of course, other things as well. You guys touched on a lot of great points. Brunson's inefficiency right now, the lack of stepping up by Karl Anthony Towns. And the big discussion now, I'm sure on every national media discussion will be, where was Karl Anthony Towns last night?
Michael Bridges. Where was Bridges? He can't.
Correct.
How did the Knicks run their offense in Game 4? What do they do to keep? Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of questions.
Too many questions. Yeah, for a guy that was starting to play some. Michael Bridges was playing really good basketball over the course of this win streak, where he was shooting the ball at like 65% or whatever crazy number it was. Like he wasn't scoring a lot of points. Like he wasn't scoring 30 a game, but still getting 15 to 20 and shooting the ball that well.
Really
when
efficient.
you got your shots, you're efficient, you're hitting them, that matters. So he's got to bring it back a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this real quick, because Kyle, you brought up, what happens if San Antonio wins every game, the rest of the series, and it's like the repeat of the 2011 finals. Eli brought up the 2021 finals, where the same thing played out. How? What's your assessment? The games have to be played, but what would be your assessment of the Knicks if they drop the next 3 games?
That would be exactly what I think will happen next season and probably for the rest of their time together. It's just I don't think you put together stretches of play like that where you just play out of your mind better than anyone could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
If they lose the next 3 games in a row, that is where Chad's talk about Giannis and because then they're going to be like, hey, we're 2 games away from winning this. We're so close. What do we have to do? Do we have to throw in Bridges and Anunoby to get Giannis in here? Is that going to be the difference? I mean, is that going to be enough? I mean, that's when they will look at something like that. If this series goes 7, I think they probably think they can run it back. I think they're not going to worry about that. If they lose 4 straight games, after being up 2-0, winning 13 straight, all the momentum in the world going back home, and they find a way to lose this series on that floor in Game 6, like there will be a lot of talk about. I don't think about Mike Brown. I think he's good, even though he loves getting fired from jobs. Let me tell you. But still, like every other year it seems like. But still, like there will be some talk about like, okay, how do we put this here? Because we're here. How do we put this here? How do we go from a top 4 team in the East to the team in the East? That's the move. Giannis has said he's wanted to go there before. He's hot on Miami right now, but we'll see what happens in the long scheme of things. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting, fellas. I mean, that's a lot to break down, and I think we've done a pretty good job of it thus far. Here's the good news. I got great news for 2 of us here, and I'm part of the 2 that we have great news for you. Not bad news, never bad news, but good news for you guys, Chad and Kyle, is that you guys have fulfilled your duties for the evening. We will see.
Dude, what a piece of shit! What kind of person just says that on the? Hey, by the way, you're done. Get the fuck off. Like,
it's midnight. It's midnight run with Double A. Anthony
That's
Alford.
funny. I'm still fucking sprinting. All right. So what are we talking?
You know what?
Are your legs going under the table? Are you like?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I have a mobile treadmill underneath the table. I've been running Flintstone style, like I'm sitting down in a car.
Folks,
go.
I just want you to hear me. I'm going to pull the mic a little closer. Do you see what I deal with? All the personalities I deal with.
We're not easy. Yeah. I mean, earlier we had Cardi B. Kyle's doing cardio. I don't know what's going on in this show anymore.
That's right.
Kyle, would you like to stay?
I got the midnight runs. I got to go. I don't know what's going on.
You're making me feel like I'm a bad parent right now. Like I just told you.
No, you're flexing your assistant principal.
Yeah, we just got put in timeout, Kyle. I don't know how to
I'm just following
You're the disciplinarian. Double A's the principal over there, like, yeah, do what you got to do. Get the fuck out of here.
Morning show just starts with me standing in the corner with my nose, like, I don't know what's going on.
Eli cracks the whip. Double A just watches. It's so great.
So what the hell's going on in my school?
You're gonna need a progress report Sunday afternoons. You better write it up.
I joked earlier before illegal formation. Again, great show earlier with Chad and TK breaking down the NFC North.
Until my power went out. Yeah, it was fine.
I'm gonna look like Dumbledore. I'm gonna have pure white hair.
Yeah.
And
you were, and then you got a haircut. Now you look like
it's still gonna turn white.
Grindelwald.
See, if you would have went completely bald, then the grace would have came in.
Well, then we're glad we didn't do that, right?
No, I think gray would actually add to your look.
Yeah, I think it would have gave you more distinguished look, more of that real.
Yes, because I've had so much luck with the women that going gray and bald.
You look like a very dapper deputy principal right now.
Like it's more Draco Malfoy right now than anything. Can
you give me a Potter? Can you say it?
Where are my test scores?
Squint your eyes, Polta.
If I just sit here for an hour and don't go to break, technically we did a midnight run, right?
It's true.
Hey, at that point, did I fulfill my duties?
Well, okay, Eli, start your 8-minute intro into the break. Go ahead.
No, actually, Kyle, I'll hand it off to you because you made me feel terrible.
Once upon a time,
Oh my God.
Would you like me to send it to break? I can do that for you, buddy.
No, what I would like though is I know you have a little bit of a rundown for tomorrow. For the people we have a ton of people in here rocking with us right now. Give the people, a little bit of an idea of tomorrow's show at 5 p.m. Eastern time here on the Inside Edge Network on Filter. Just give them a little bit of a rundown of kind of what you're going to talk about. Just a brief overview, if you could, for the people.
Sure, yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Game 3 of the finals. I mean, this is a lot to kind of break down. Is there going to be, more to come from this? Also, we're going to talk about the President Trump factor. He was there. I mean, let's be honest. He was there. Like I said, he got 10-second standing ovation. Then people started to boo. It was hilarious. I can't believe it. I may actually pull that clip. We may play it tomorrow. It's almost like people forgot that it's Trump. They just saw a president. And they were like, "Oh, this is crazy. Oh, wait, it's Trump. Fuck you." Like it was funny. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to follow up on the story involving the Cuyahoga County Sheriff. It's the only county in the entire state where the sheriff is not elected. It's picked by the county commissioner and by the group there in the county council. So we're going to follow up on that. They're going to try and maybe change that. So we'll see what happens. It's been that way since 2009, believe it or not. Wow. So all that and more coming up with different news and notes of the day. There's obviously always something going on, not only in Northeast Ohio, but the state, the country, the world. We're still apparently bombing Iran. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? We'll talk about it all on the show tomorrow, 5 o'clock, here on the Inside Edge Network.
See, buddy, that was so good. I'm proud of you. All right,
send me the check in the mail, you son of a bitch.
Now put on a ride at Cedar Point.
You spent all your goodwill with Eli. That's it. You undid it.
Listen, Kyle Cornell, obviously he told you, but he's here with you weekdays, 5 to 6 p.m. here on Filter with Kyle Cornell on the Inside Edge Network. Great show. I enjoy it every day. I learned stuff that I didn't know about the news world. So that's good stuff. And then Chad Bryan to my right, your right, up top this time. We're in the bleachers this time, Chad B.
Hey, I love it.
We are rocking and rolling. He is one half and I'm the other half of Inside Edge Primetime, and we'll talk NBA Finals as well. We will probably stay away from the politics. We'll leave that, we'll leave that to Kyle, but we'll have some reaction about, of course, the Guardians and some other stuff too. Guardians and Yankees in a bit. I know it's regular season, but it is a fun series, two of the AL top teams. So we'll talk some baseball tomorrow, and of course we'll just get into a bunch of other stuff. It is everybody's favorite segment tomorrow, Tuesday Top 5. So You got to stay tuned for that too. And then of course, fellas, I'm going to disappear with you. Don't feel like I'm
at some point. That Blaze got to do his fucking show. All right?
No, I'm gonna. No, we're all gonna hold up. I keep looking at this little image here of the plane.
Saw that. Oh, he's still trying to land it. Come on, Sully.
Watch this. Watch this. Ready?
Everyone, turn your Wi-Fi off and help Eli out. Let's turn our Wi-Fi.
No, he's about to cut us off.
In about 3 seconds, you'll see Chad, Kyle, and Eli all disappear, and there'll be one Anthony Alford on the screen. Ready? Kyle, we'll see you at 5 tomorrow. Chad, we'll see you at 10 tomorrow. And AA, I'll be here if you need me.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? That is the best job, period, in the world. All right, welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Yes, right, Chad and Kyle, go to bed. Go to bed. Turn that camera off. We are off and running here with you until 1 o'clock. Going straight through again, like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net across all the socials, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you're on YouTube, hit the notification bell underneath, and we have all of that for you. Also, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you want to be. Later in the show, huge college football news. We're going to get to huge college football news we're going to have to address coming up later in the show. But obviously, we start off where we left off, of course, in the last hour. You guys been with us all throughout here on the Inside Edge Network. The NBA Finals, the San Antonio Spurs have won on the board. They are winners today, 115 to 111. And, we are from Cleveland. So, we could, break this down from a Cleveland perspective. And there's more commentary I want to deliver from the Cleveland perspective momentarily. But, oh my goodness, get this plane out of here. I keep looking at the flopping plane. But listen, it feels good from an entertainment standpoint. I always root for a long series. Hopefully we'll get that. Now, the real test, did you guys look at the schedule for the finals? So Game 4 is going to be Wednesday night, 8:30. And again, we'll have post-game coverage, Inside Edge Primetime, Midnight Run. Game 5, Saturday, Saturday night, actually, or no, the UFC card, I believe, is on Sunday. I thought it was Saturday. But you're going to be going up against the World Cup. And it's not often that the NBA Finals, I think it hasn't happened in like 20 or don't count the pandemic years like 2021, 2020. Besides those 2 years, I don't think we've had a Saturday NBA Finals in like 30 or 40 years. Like, it just doesn't happen. So, but you're going to notice a lot of leagues, a lot of companies, they're scheduling around the NBA or around the World Cup rather. But yeah, what a night. I mean, this game felt like, again, I'll put it to you this way. If the NBA Finals was simply just one game, winner take all the bells and whistles that goes into one game, like the Super Bowl, tonight was it. I mean, Madison Square Garden, New York City, as a fan base, they showed out. Of course, all the extracurriculars involved with it. Kyle will talk more about that tomorrow at 5 o'clock with the president being in attendance. But all of that being said, I think part of that led to New York getting off to a bit of a slow start. And the Spurs just looked faster tonight. And that's really been the story of these finals. Each winner has moved the ball faster. Remember in game one, the Spurs moved that they were sprinting against the Knicks. And you're like, wait a minute, whoa, or New York, rather. They were sprinting against the Spurs. And you're like, whoa, what's going on here? But New York, which typically doesn't run and gun, they were running and gunning in game one. And here in game three, San Antonio returned to favor. Again, it was one of those rare cases, too, because of the magnitude of tonight's game and tonight's events in New York City and all the stuff that went with it. It almost seemed like the Spurs were playing with house money. I mean, yes, if they would have lost this game, series is probably over on Wednesday night. That's it. But the Spurs walked into this game, really nothing to lose. Shout out to Wemby, of course, and Stephon Castle. I mean, you needed both of those guys to show up, and they did. Wemby had 32 points, 11 of 18 shooting, 2 for 4 from downtown. And Stephon Castle, 23 points, 8 of 14 shooting, 2 of 5 from downtown. De'Aaron Fox made a critical shot late in the game as well. So finally, for once, San Antonio's star players, finally, they're getting the job done. And it's absolutely needed. And again, we have witnessed, and I predicted New York Knicks in 7. I think I was the only one on the network and one of the few in the country that probably picked the Knicks to win this series outside of New York City. But now that the Spurs won tonight, we'll see how game 4 plays itself out. Now we could be going the distance. You could be going to a game 7, game 6, game 7. And you could pretty much see what happens really at that point. So, yeah, I mean, that was a great game, great event. Cardi B showed out. I don't care. They did a whole halftime show in the middle of the game. So, man, a lot of great stuff there with the finals. What we talked about here in Cleveland, in the 11 o'clock hour, myself, Eli, and Chad, we had a very interesting conversation. Again, Inside Edge Network, we're based here locally in Cleveland. And I bring this up in context because it's very easy to, I think every business at some point they come at, there's a fork in the road, right? There's a huge opportunity to just settle and be comfortable and be cool, right? Hey, we have a winning team. We have a roster full of nice guys. We won X number of games. We're competing in the playoffs. Why mess with that? Why take that chance? I mean, if you're an Atlanta Braves fan, that was a lot of the Braves in the night. I know baseball is very different, but that's a big part of it, right? Or do you take that chance? Do you make that leap? Do you make the necessary trades that you need to make to get to that next level? I'm curious, in a series like this, and that's why I said with the Cavaliers, I feel like they want to be a little bit comfortable. And that's the part that's concerning. That's the part that's scary. My question for our audience, I know we have Knicks fans and Spurs fans in particular. We have one guy who I don't know if he wanted to make sure that it hit send on his phone, but he says Spurs in 7. I'm not even going to bring it up because he spammed our page, but it says Spurs in 7. But I wonder nationally who people are rooting for. And I thought going in, like, my mentality's always been, I never root for the team that beat me. I just don't. I just can't do it. I'm too much of a team guy. I'm like, this team whipped our behinds in the Eastern Conference Finals. You did. You did. I'm in work meetings. I sign on to get this. And Kyle can confirm this story because we are in the same work meeting. I sign on to our work meeting over Zoom. And I work at a remote-based job. And one of our coworkers is a New York Knicks fan. Didn't know that until the Eastern Conference Finals. That's, amazing. And he signs on. He's like, Anthony, are you okay? And I want to do one of those. Like, no, I'm not okay. No. Y'all, no, I'm not good. But again, I was with family over the weekend, and everyone in my family rooting for New York, rooting for the Knicks. And I want to get a little bit more into that when we come back from break here, because I think that's a little interesting. Is it now? Again, I exclude Eli from this particular discussion because Eli knows people from San Antonio personally. And if I was in that same spot, I would root for San Antonio as well. Eli is, artist, golden child. Make sure you download the album. I'll actually get Eli on in 2 seconds or after the break to talk about how you can download his album. But he's done business, has done concerts in San Antonio. San Antonio, by all accounts, great city, a town that probably, and if there's any Spurs fans tuning in, let me know, probably deserves another professional team somewhere in San Antonio. San Antonio is very much a growing city. But if you go outside of our sports talk bubble, it seemed to me, is there, even with Wemby, even with Castle, even with Fox, again, everybody on the Spurs team I like. They're a cool team, cool players. I'm all in on Wemby. I'm glad the Spurs beat OKC. So it ain't really coming from me. But is there Spurs fatigue across the country, kind of like the Patriots, where New England went from Tom Brady, they struggled for a year, and then you go to Drake May, and you're in the Super Bowl. San Antonio Spurs, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, a few years of struggle, and then Wemby. And I'm sure if you're a San Antonio fan, you're probably thinking, well, that's not fair because your last appearance in the finals was 2013? So like, and win, but like, okay, that's not fair. I get that. But my generation, me growing up, I'm 34 years old. Me growing up as a millennial, y'all won all the effing time. But unlike the teams that you guys had before, this team has personality. So I could at least root for you guys. But a lot of people around the country rooting for the New York Knicks. You guys should not care about that. I'm just saying, from a national standpoint. All right, let's break. When we come back, more on I want to get into that conversation a little bit here, and I will bring Eli in for a brief moment when we come back from break. When your team, and this is across all sports, pro sports, when your team is knocked out of the playoffs, like for us, the Cavaliers got embarrassed in the Eastern Conference Finals, how do you determine who you root for in the championship series? And us here in Cleveland, we had a few of those instances, right? The Cleveland Guardians were demolished by the New York Yankees a couple years ago in the ALCS. And, do we root for the Yankees or Dodgers? That was a couple years ago. Same deal here. And all of you watching across the country and here, look, you know the deal. Like, who do you root for? How do you make that determination? We'll talk about that coming up next here on Midnight Run. Also, there was a big decision made down in Texas in college football. And I think this particular decision might be the nail in the coffin for the NCAA. We'll talk about that next. And also, Caitlin Clark hit a game winner. She finally, there was some whispers. There was a topic I was about to unleash. And she said, AA, shut the hell up. I hit the game winner. We ain't even going to address that. You'll be fine. We got a lot to do. We're here with you until 1 a.m. This is Midnight Run every Monday through Friday right here at Inside Edge Net on your socials on the Inside Edge Network. Back after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Man, listen, I love that music. That's my music. That's Midnight Run. I mean, it's, it is what it is. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Here with you until 1. We're following the NBA Finals. We're going strong here on this one stream night. On a night where we were planning on talking about other stuff. But yeah, game 3, what an event. What an event. My personal highlight, again, Cardi B's halftime show. I'll break it down like sports. I thought it was an incredible performance. She performed all of her hits, the 25 seconds. We watched it. It was great. It threw Charles Barkley off his game. We're not going to play it for you because we're in a different studio now, but it is. The game was good for me. I'm sorry. I mean, the game was good for me. I don't think we've had, maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure it's happened. I don't think we've had an NBA Finals game with a halftime show, like an actual performance. Also, one little note, too. Kudos to ESPN and TNT for working out the deal to have Inside the NBA a part of their finals coverage throughout. Just a night and day difference. In the past, the ABC presentation of the finals has not felt like at times it's felt like a regular season game, just very subpar. But ABC is really elevated and they've worked it out. Them and TNT, obviously there was concern when TNT lost the rights to the NBA, but everything is good to go and coverage has been fantastic. Coverage has been, I thought Draymond was naked for a second. Okay, that threw me off. They did a wide shot. Draymond's wearing pink pants, but it looked like he was, never mind. Maybe it's late. What's going on? What is happening? No, but my question, and let's bring Eli on because this is a two-part question. And again, full disclosure on Eli's part, he has friends and knows people from San Antonio. So that's one of the full disclosure. But I do wonder, because I've always thought you ride with your team and that's it. My question is, how do you determine who you root for in a championship game or a championship series, especially if you were knocked out in the prior round or you were one of the contenders and you're not there? Who do you root for? It's similar with college football. Like if Ohio State's knocked out, who do you root for? Or Michigan or whatever team?
Yeah.
And real quick, Eli, real quick. And I think in the past, when I was younger, because of my dad, I was always brought up like, hey, we don't depend on, whoever beat us, you root against them.
Yeah.
But I noticed even when LeBron left Cleveland the first time, I'm like, there were people my age that had LeBron Miami Heat jerseys. It threw me off. And I think a lot of teams, a lot of people, a lot of casuals, a lot of, sports fans, but not like everyday sports talk fans, they root for the team that has, or the organization that has more swag. And in this case, Eli, it might be the Knicks.
Yeah, and that's the thing, as you mentioned, I have a lot of peeps, I rock with in San Antonio that I've talked with a lot in the past week. While ESPN and everything, the finals were in San Antonio for the first two games, and it was just so happy. I was so happy to hear the electricity just coming out of their voices. Like they were just so excited, and they're like, dude, like Spike Lee's here, and like just like the excitement. It was cool, Double A. And So for this series, as you mentioned, I'm rooting for San Antonio. I'll be back in November for another show out there. We're putting together, and I rock with those guys. You know what? And I told them back in March when I was out there for the Thriller in Texas Festival that I put together with Scarface Promotions. I said, hey, I'm hoping for a Cavs and Spurs finals. And hopefully we can at least settle it that way. We can figure out who's the better team. And we didn't hold up our end of the bargain here in Cleveland. So I'm rooting for the guys in San Antonio. But I will preface that also by saying, and I guess I should have started with that, but I will say I have some peeps in New York that I rock with too. Like, my guy Debonair, just like I got my guys in San Antonio, Devontae, Lil Yoda, Ruthless Jr., just the guys that I rock with on the music side. And I mean, Scarface, I mentioned him, just they show me a ton of love out there, or down there. But New York has shown me love too. I've been to New York as well a few times, and Debonair, I mentioned him, an artist who's coming to Moonbash next month here in Cleveland. Just a lot
When
of
is Moonbash, by the way, buddy?
Yes, July 25th at Brothers Lounge. It's 11609 Detroit Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio. Some call it Lakewood, but it is classified as Cleveland. But
yeah, right on that edge of Cleveland and Lakewood. The address is Cleveland, but it's right there.
Yes. It'll be 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., 4 different stages, both patios, both stages. And New York has treated me well, too. Every time I've been out there, I've ran into a lot of great people. And I know how badly they want this, too. And I know Debonair, he's out there rooting for a New York win. And you know what? I just want all my friends to have fun. That's where I'm at. But I lean towards the Spurs because I was just there recently. And, okay, if the Knicks don't get it done, let's talk hypothetically here for a moment. If the Knicks don't get it done, they have a lot of buzz still in that city. And I know the Giants haven't done anything, but the Giants have a lot of stuff going for them. You have the Yankees are always going to be contenders. You have stuff going on. If the Spurs don't win the finals, San Antonio has to wait till October to have a professional league then start off again so they can root to get a championship. So I just think it means more. As crazy as that sounds, I think it means more in San Antonio because they don't have any other professional sports teams.
You know what? I didn't think of it that way. That's interesting because the angle I was going to come at this, the Knicks, I know New York has two teams of everything, and including basketball, but nobody's staking their, planting their flag on the Brooklyn Nets. Like everyone, universally, maybe 99% of New York City supports the New York Knicks. They love the New York Knicks.
Right.
So I can understand from that standpoint if they fall short. And again, if Kyle's right, I don't know if Kyle's going to be right and like this is going to be a one and done appear. I think the Knicks, they're going to be contending. I don't know if but I'm not going to like stake my claim into that take. But you get my drift. Like, don't be hurting. I think that's an interesting point, though. I mean, us here locally or statewide, I know Columbus, Ohio has the Blue Jackets and they have the Columbus Crew, but their entire sports calendar is Ohio State football Buckeyes.
Yeah.
The entire calendar.
Yeah.
And it's the same with San Antonio with the Spurs.
Yeah.
And what happens if the series, if they win the championship, they're on cloud nine for a long time. But if they don't win the title, OKC's going to be back. Minnesota's going to be in the picture. Denver's going to be in the picture. What happens with the Lakers? I mean, they're going to be around too. I mean, so yeah, it could be panic mode. I mean, the Spurs are going to be around. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
yeah, but you never know if you'll get back, and not to compare it to a different sport for a moment, but Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. He got there in his second year as a NFL starter, and they said, "Don't worry, Dan, you'll be back. You'll be back plenty of times, Dan." And Dan Marino wasn't back ever again. So I'm not saying that's the case for the Spurs. To your point, they have a strong nucleus with Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. 3 guys in 3 consecutive drafts that they got it right. They absolutely got it right. And I know you can say, well, they're all top 5 picks. Okay. We drafted Anthony Bennett here in Cleveland. You can't always get it right. Yeah. They got it right 3 times in a row to add 3 core members. They went out and made a trade to get De'Aaron Fox in there. They have understood that this city, San Antonio, is ready for another championship. I know it hasn't been as long as the New York Knicks, but their last championship came in 2014. They hadn't been to the Western Conference Finals since 2017. That, we talk all the time about, we were talking here with the Cavaliers about, man, we want to hoist a Larry O'Brien trophy. We haven't done it in 10 years. They hadn't even been in this spot since 2014.
And I think that's a huge point, too, because, I think Bill Simmons has something years ago. And it's like, when are you allowed to be desperate for a championship again and complain to somebody that you haven't won a championship? And I think for organizations or teams, Ohio State, I'll go back to Ohio State for a second. They have won a national title in the modern era once every 10 years, give or take. 2002, 2014, and then a couple of years ago.
Right.
Or last year, they've won. Or 2 years, whatever.
We get it. We get it. The Buckeyes win, buddy. We get it.
But that's the point. And I'll go because you're not a Buckeye fan. So if I go to you and say, man, we should worry about the future of Ryan Day before they won the title. We should worry about the future of Ryan Day. You're going to look at the back of your hand. Are you kidding me? I think a lot of people, when they talk about the Spurs and they talk about the Patriots nationally, when you hear San Antonio fans complain about not winning a title, and you hear Patriots fans complain about not winning a title, the rest of the country want to do one of these.
That's fair.
But it may not be fair to do so.
Yeah, I get your point. And here's the thing. And let me preface, I do have a little bit of a soft spot now for Ohio State since my little brother goes there. So I had to have some sort of love for Ohio State.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'm not talking to 2015 Eli Moon that celebrated in our studios when Michigan State put the boots on Ohio State on a rainy Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott with, I think, 8 carries that day,
15
yards. Ooh. I know. I got a little bit of soft spot. My little brother Austin's doing tremendous at Ohio State. Graduates next spring, I believe. So exciting stuff there. I think it's a little different, though, than New England. Because if the Patriots don't win, well, you got the Celtics. And, if the Patriots lose in the Super Bowl, which they just did, now Boston fans are gearing up for a Celtics run, which I get it ended earlier than they anticipated. And a lot of folks anticipated. Nobody thought they were going out in round 1 to Philly. But my point is.
But they just won 2 years ago.
They just won 2 years ago. And if the Patriots don't win, the Celtics will win. And if the Celtics don't win, I know the Red Sox are in a really weird time. They completely overhauled their entire staff mid-season. But the Red Sox will find a way to win again. So they have a rotating championship. Hey, they're due. Now they're going to win. Let's not forget the Boston Bruins, who are always in playoff contention. They have sports teams to lean on. And San Antonio, I've been there a few times. I've been there. This is my third time there. And when I go there, I don't just go there for like 10 hours and I'm back. Like, I've been there for a good stay every time, a very minimum a weekend. And I'll tell you, Cliche can attest for it. My Haley, bro, we get active. We are moving around.
Man, we gotta get Cliche on the show. Get him on the show.
Yeah, Cliche would love to come on, man. He would tell you
all about mini camp coming up. Get him on the show.
Yeah, I'll reach out to him. I'm sure he may be watching too. So if he hears it, Cliche, open invite, midnight run. Yes, we love it.
Anytime he's welcome.
I love it. We think about San Antonio, right? And they're big on a few things. At least what I've interpreted as a Clevelander who goes there. They're big on their music. Whether, just different varieties, hip hop and rap, rock, heavy metal, all that. They're huge on their music. And that's something I'm trying to help as a Clevelander, as somebody who's here in Ohio, when I go out there to continue to bring community through Ohio and to Texas and just continue to bring community together. That's a big goal of mine in life as a community creator. So that is big, the music scene. Then they're big on their food, right? I mean, you're going to get the greatest.
That sells me.
You're going to get great tacos. You're going to get great barbecue. You're going to get dang near anything you could think of. They're going to have great food. I mean, they have great mom and pop shops. everybody's so nice. Let me also preface that everybody is so nice when we talk to people. And the other big thing they're big on in San Antonio are those Spurs. They love those San Antonio Spurs like there is no other sports team, because there is no other sports team in that city. I walked into a club with my guy Devontae, Cliche, and I last time we went out there in March. It was Mave, and shout out Mave. The club's amazing. It was just cool, really good outdoor. Dude, we would never have it in Cleveland because it literally, you walk in, it's like indoor, and then you walk out and it's a complete outdoor. But like,
that's great.
It's incredible, and they got DJs going. So Devontae showed us a great hospitality, and shout out to bro. We decided to go to Mave, rock out, and I'm seeing so many Spurs jerseys. And I've told this story a few times. I'll tell it tonight too, because I believe it's pretty relevant. I walking around, we're chilling with the guys, and I see one of, the guys rocking in the club, and he's got a Victor Wembanyama jersey on. And I go, okay. I go, hey, man, and mind you, everybody out there, I know I was in the club. I haven't drank in almost 2 years. August will be 2 years. So I was completely sober. So I walk in there, I go, hey, man, I'm hoping it's my Cavs versus your Spurs in the finals. And he just looked at me with the most puzzled look on his face. He goes, I don't know anything about those Cavs. It's go Spurs go. They eat, sleep, breathe, and repeat every day. The San Antonio Spurs. That's why I hear your point about the 5 championships, the Duncan, Ginobili, Parker era, Kawhi being a part of those runs, David Robinson, all the history there. But they have literally no other sports team. So all their eggs are in the Spurs basket. If the Spurs don't find a way to bring this home, they're going to be wondering how they can bring back their first professional sports championship since 2014.
Yeah, they will. I mean, that's something definitely to look at. We are covering the analytical NBA Finals. The Cavaliers lead the series 2-1 over OKC. Oh wait, that's not.
I wonder if Kenny Atkinson. I wonder what he's thinking. Maybe give James Harden a few more minutes. I figured he played him the whole fourth. Maybe he just played him the whole second half.
I have to bring this up briefly. I have to bring this up, and you'll be so TNT during the pregame. They had Adam Silver on, during the pregame, and one of the guys, I forgot who, one of them brought up flopping and what are you going to do about it? And why did TNT roll a package while Adam Silver's answering the question? Take a guess on the 2 players that were heavily featured in this package.
Well, sometimes I'm a 50-cent betting man, but if I were as a betting man tonight, I'd say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's one.
And I'm going to go, I'm going to press my luck here, AA. I'm going to go James Harden of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That is correct. Heavily featured.
Wow.
And like James Harden was first, and they kept showing him. It was like 3 plays. It was like extended cuts.
AA.
Of James Harden. And then they went to SGA. I'm like, bro, what are we doing?
I got to be honest. I was sitting there. I mean, the Cavs haven't played in a few weeks now, but I was sitting there the one game. I can't remember what. I mean, name the game James Harden's going to flop in it. And that's coming from a Cavaliers fan. Let me preface that for somebody like tunes in. Where are these guys? We're Cleveland's digital leader. We're Inside Edge Network. We've been here since September last year. We're rocking. And we're just getting started. But here's the thing. I'm sitting there watching with Papa Moon, and Papa Moon has this rule where he leaves the game. We're here on, watching on TV. He leaves with 4 minutes left. It doesn't matter if we're up by 10, down by 10, up by 2, up by 5. It doesn't matter. He goes, it'll be a nice surprise in the morning. And Papa Moon doesn't necessarily need to know what goes on right in the morning after. He does Real Talk with Papa Moon Saturdays at 5, and he's talking about, the stories of the world and community and
important stuff, actual important stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he had a great episode with Andy Morales. Great episode. Go check that out. It's on our social media at Inside Edge Net. All that to be said, I'm talking to Papa Moon. And I'm sitting there, and James Harden just completely, Oscar award-winning James Harden here. And he flops, and he gets the call. And we were on we were getting our asses whooped. We were down by 10 or something. And I go, yes, I hate that shit. I literally hate when he does that. Any other time, but he's on our team. So flop away, James Harden. It's just you have to understand that, we do. But as a Cavs fan, you have to take out all the bad that we've said about James Harden for the past decade and embrace it. Because unfortunately, he's probably going to be here for the next 3-4 years, the rest of his career, and that's just where we're at.
There is this might classify as a hot take. there is a greater chance James Harden outlasts Donovan Mitchell on this team.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if that's a hot take. I just think I think there's a lot to it. I'll just mention I find it very funny that James Harden had more playoff minutes than Donovan Mitchell. And James Harden is 6, maybe 7 years older.
Yeah.
More mileage on his body. But James Harden routinely during the playoffs played over 40 minutes a game. And Donovan Mitchell it seemed like he was capped at 35, 36 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, every single year in the playoffs, can Donovan Mitchell, his body hold up? And I'm like, if you're having those issues and those concerns with Donovan year in and year out, and then you're coming up on a contract year.
Yeah.
Community stuff. The community stuff's very important. Do you want to commit to that?
And here's the thing, and I know,
man.
Yeah, and I know we got to go to break here in a moment, Double A. I know you got some other stuff to cover before in this midnight run that we do every week.
Yeah, one big story we're going to cover here in just a second. Eli, final thoughts.
Yeah, I will say this, and I'll be short and sweet with it. There's no power struggle with James Harden. This isn't James Harden in Houston where him and Chris Paul were fighting over who wanted the ball more and all this other jazz. And this wasn't him feeling slighted by OKC that he's a sixth man and they chose Serge Ibaka over him and all this other stuff. This is James Harden just kind of like, dude, I will do whatever you need me to do. If you need me to flop 100 times, I'll do it. If you need me to play the whole fourth quarter, Kenny, I'll do it. Like, he will do whatever to appease the team. Now, is it always going to be winning basketball? No. And we've been very clear about that. But there is no power struggle. James Harden is not going to come in, to my knowledge, he's not going to walk into, Kobe Altman's office tomorrow and go, this is my team now, Kobe. Build it around me. He's aware of where he's at in his career. However, Donovan Mitchell, there's a lot of star players out there right now that aren't happy in their current locations. And there could be a power struggle if the Cavs bring in 1 or 2 impact players that could very well say, this is my team now, Donovan, and I'm going to go ahead and drive. And you've done a great job driving. I know it's been a long road trip. Why don't you buckle up in the shotgun seat and see where we can get to?
Special note about tomorrow's show. We debuted a segment last week, Around the Dial, which is local reaction to national big stories. We'll have that for you tomorrow on Midnight Run. We'll get New York's reaction to the Game 3 loss from WFAN or ESPN New York, one of the two. And we'll also get San Antonio radio reaction. We'll play both of those clips tomorrow here on Midnight Run. We do have to address one big story, a huge story. And it is because of this particular decision, the NCAA, they're about this close to saying, that's it. I learned today that you can gamble thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, even on your own team. And that's okay. But getting tattoos is not okay. And now you got conferences and teams saying, avoid Texas Tech. We're going to remove Texas Tech from our schedule at all cost. One of the darkest days in the history of the NCAA. We'll talk about it next.
Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
The NCAA, that's 4 letters. That's nothing more. That's not an enforcement body. That's not a governing body. It used to be, and truthfully, I don't ever know that it had the teeth we thought it did. It was just, it barked really loud for a long time. And so schools were scared and got in line and they were complicit. And how foolish do you feel today, by the way, if at any point in your recent history, as a player or a coach or an institution, you self-reported violations? Or you admitted to violations, or you just accepted NCAA sanctions? How foolish must you feel?
So that was Josh Pete, college football analyst, talking about Sorsby, Brandon Sorsby. And we learned today, we already learned he was going to serve a 2-game suspension with Texas Tech. A judge essentially ruled that, he's out. Basically, they won the injunction against the NCAA. Now, there's more still to go. This is not the final battle here. There's still more legal hurdles. But as of now, Sorsby is eligible to play football in 2026 for Texas Tech. Let me lay out what he has done. Because a lot of people here locally have been talking about, well, he's going to be available for the supplemental draft. Let's see if you want this guy in your program. Again, ESPN first reported back in late April that Sorsby placed thousands of online bets through a variety of sports via gambling app. He placed bets on Major League Baseball, UFC, tennis, Romanian soccer, Turkish basketball, and the hot dog eating contest, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. All joking aside, he placed over $90,000 worth of bets through 4 years. And he went to the NCAA, requested reinstatement. And, he also admitted to placing bets during his freshman season at Indiana. In the same injunction, Sorsby was said to have clinically been diagnosed with a gambling disorder, which is a mental health condition. And he did recently complete a 35-day inpatient rehab program in Arizona for a gambling addiction. In case if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I have a side computer, so I want to make sure all of my notes are accurate and correct. But the point is, in court documents filed by Sorsby's legal team to the NCAA back on May 29th, he placed more than 9,000 bets for a total of $90,000. And while he was with Indiana, he placed at least 40 bets on Indiana football. And then the NCAA said, "Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong." And then they got, that's it. Chris Fowler, the lead voice of ESPN college football, he was on with Rich Eisen, and here is his reaction to the breaking news.
You know, Brendan Sorsby getting another year at Texas Tech as a Lubbock, Texas judge chimes in and throws down an injunction. And the general sense from Charlie Baker to a lot of our colleagues, when you look at it, is that there are no rules in college football. Do you have an opinion on this, Chris?
College football is filled with upsets. The fact that a Lubbock judge ruled that way, I would not call an upset. I think you can find a judge to create an injunction for or against anything in the world. And it didn't surprise me. Gambling is a pretty serious thing. It should be taken really seriously by anybody who's in charge. As you said, the problem is no one is in charge of college football. So maybe there's other chapters to happen. I mean, I never take pleasure in seeing a dude make a big mistake and then have it cost him his career. But there are consequences for these things. And, you know, I would expect at this point, I guess he'll be on the field, but there may be another chapter to happen.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You know, I am not, me personally, I'm not going to sit here, morals and standards. You shouldn't gamble. I'm not about that. You know, if you're allowed to gamble, you know, on sports, things like that, have at it, have fun, bet responsibly. But in this case, I disagree with Chris Fowler on one thing. It ain't just a mistake. It's $90,000. It's 9,000 bets. 9,000 bets. 9,000 bets. And you're not allowed to place bets at all as a college athlete. And the judges, and I can't confirm this, but my understanding was that the judges that was a part of this case all are graduates of Texas Tech. I can't confirm that. I caught it on the internet, so it may or may not be true. But if that is true, then what the hell are we doing? And now you got the Big Ten. There are reports that they are looking into their teams and saying, take Texas Tech off your schedules immediately. You got the Big 12 reportedly saying, you know, we're not going to schedule, you know, Texas Tech. You got Georgia saying take them off the schedule. It's the least, it's not going to solve many problems, but this right here tells you that the rules of the NCAA don't mean a dang thing. They don't mean anything. Because honestly, you got coaches now saying, you know what? I need somebody from Las Vegas to teach my kids how to gamble to get ahead. Because this kid got away with it. And then all I got to do, and this is where people use and abuse the mental health thing. I don't want to say thing, but this is why mentioning mental health brings up a bad rep for some people, because that's not a mistake. That's not just, oh, I found myself in the wrong place at the wrong time. I just happened to place a bet. You know, here we go. Like, dude, you knew the rules, and you did it. And then Texas Tech comes out with a statement. Oh, I should have grabbed the statement for air, but they came out with a statement. Texas Tech football, and actually, I will pull it up. I'm going to share my screen here, Eli, and bring it to the people. Let me do that real quick here. So there we go. Here's their statement. And you see it there. As we said before, we do not believe that the circumstances of Brandon's case warrant permanent ineligibility. And then you see the rest there. But that's, and then you see you might see it if you're watching us on television or the bigger screen. The NC Sports comment, you're part of the problem right there. You're the biggest part of the problem. Unreal. Unreal. And Eli, you can bring it back to me. That's just unreal. And I'm probably the wrong guy to talk about morals and standards. We have a lot more mature people on this network than me to talk about morals and standards and things like that. But the NCAA has proven they have no power over anything. They have no power, nothing. If the Big Ten says, screw Texas Tech, screw them. That's it. And honestly, these conferences and the networks, because the NCAA runs nothing. ESPN and Fox runs everything. The networks have to decide how they want their product to look. How do they want their inventory to look? And then on the NFL side, you want to bring that guy on your team? I don't care how good he is. If he can't handle that, then how's he going to handle professional football? And then it's also proof that where he's coming from, you got big organizations that's enabling this behavior. So more on that to come. We are out of time. More on that to come, but that's a 9,000 bets. That ain't no mistake, dude. What are we doing? All right, like and subscribe at InsideEdgeNet and InsideEdgeNetwork.com. It's our website. We got a lot of great stuff on the website ready to go. We thank you guys for joining us. One stream strong throughout the night. Eli, Chad, Kyle, and myself had great coverage throughout the night. We thank you for joining us again. Like, subscribe at InsideEdgeNet. That'll help. We're locally grassroots here in Cleveland. We got live programming 7 days a week. Remember, wake up tomorrow morning, Inside Edge Morning Show with Omar Kloskel Jr. He'll have everything covered. Actually, I saw in the rundown, ESPN's been running the AI intros. Yeah, after that fake Tony Parker that they presented in game 1, that was enough. So, Omar will get to that and a lot more coming up tomorrow morning. For our entire team, I'm Double A Anthony Alpha signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're back with you this time tomorrow at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network. Have a good night, everybody.